And we are underway from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium on this 4th of July before a sellout crowd. Dykstra trying to butt his way on, may do it. Hubbard picks it up, throws, and got him. Good play. So one pitch, one out here in the top of the first. Now Wally Backman, the second baseman, batting .250. No homers, 7 RBIs. He's a switch hitter, but plays very rarely when a left-hand pitcher is going against the Mets. And he takes the lead up high and away, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch, breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
Well, Pete, 11 years ago, you were, as it were, in the Mets organization, broadcasting Tidewaters games. Things have really changed for that organization, haven't they?
They really have. It's really been a roller coaster type of organization. They started out with one of the worst teams in baseball, those original New York Mets. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Wally Backman. Just missed inside, 2-2. And the 2-2 on the way, bounces up there, 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch to Backman out in front of the plate. Let's see if Naylor can throw him out. I don't think he'll get him. Safe at first is Wally Backman. The last time the Braves and Mets played, I can recall saying I've never seen a series where Keith Hernandez came in not hitting 280, 290, 300, somewhere around there. Well, now we have. Hernandez batting only .251 to this point this season with 4 homers, 31 RBIs. And Hernandez takes low for a ball. And the 1-0 pitch. Caught the inside corner. Now the 1-1. Caught the inside corner. And the 1-2 is taken high and tight, 2-2. Runner going on the 2-2 pitch. It's hit foul down the first base side. And Wally Backman goes back. 4 games with the Mets to kick off this homestand. Then Montreal comes in for 3 and the Phillies for 4. And then the All-Star break. This year's game will be played up in Minnesota. Time called as Hernandez steps out.
They got Bud Harrelson coaching third base now, don't they? And Bill Robinson over at first.
Bobby Valentine, the former third base coach, now managing the Texas Rangers. Good break for Bud Harrelson. He was managing their Columbia Farm Club. Columbia, South Carolina. And this time he got him. Bill Robinson didn't think so. But Wally Backman is out of there. Picked off by Rick Naylor, who tried about 10 times to get him and finally did.
You be the judge. Either way you call that, you get an argument. Personally, I think it was safe.
So that takes care of the base runner with 2 outs now. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Keith Hernandez. Fouled away. Hernandez, one of the best 2-strike hitters in all of baseball. Guys like Keith Hernandez and Bill Buckner. You get 2 strikes on those hitters and they just keep fouling off pitch after pitch. There's another one. Still 2-2. Top half of the first inning. 2 men out after a long rain delay here in Atlanta. And the 2-2 on the way. Missed high and the count full. At the rate this game is going, the big 5th of July fireworks show will be presented right after the contest. Line to left center field. Murphy's not going to get there. Either is Terry Harper. Hernandez heads for second. And he will coast in with his 13th double of the season as Gary Carter steps in. Carter will probably be the starting catcher in the All-Star game. He's the leading vote getter by a wide margin right now. There are his numbers for the year. He's been a red-hot hitter of late, batting .345 over the last 2 weeks. And he takes low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle. Hubbard can't get to that one. Hernandez is going to be waved. That ball just stopped out there in the wet outfield. So no chance for a throw. It's 1-0 New York.
Got the fastball up around the belt. Just did get by Hubbard. Now watch it. That's a familiar sight for some of us.
On the golf course.
Yeah.
Darryl Strawberry just getting back into action. Takes a strike in the inside corner. He was out with a thumb injury for almost 2 months. He's batting .207, 6 homers, 13 RBIs. Three hits in the inning now off Mailer. And the 0-1 coming. Missed low, 1-1. The check of the runner. And the 1-1 coming. Just outside, 2-1. This guy has one of the smoothest swings you'll ever see in baseball. And a 2-1 pitch on the way. The let up is lying toward center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Gary Carter will stop at second base, and 4 hits in the inning now off Rick Mailer. The runners lead from first and second. And Foster takes a ball. Ray Knight waiting on deck. Now the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball missed. 2-0. One run in here in the top half of the first. Runners first and second. 2 men out. And a 2-0 pitch coming. Fouled away. Foster now in his 4th year with the New York Mets. He's 36 years old. The Atlanta bullpen starts to get ready. Rick Camp is up out there. And the 2-1 is high and outside, 3-1. Rick has not been able to throw that off-speed breaking ball for a strike in this inning. There's Camp down in the Atlanta bullpen.
I don't think it takes a Rhodes Scholar to point out that with Mr. Gooden and a 1.65 ERA, you don't want to spot him too many.
Now a 3-1 pitch coming to Foster. He walked him, and that'll load him up for Ray Knight. It'll bring Johnny Sane out of the Braves dugout, as Rick Mailer is in a mess of trouble here in the first inning. Foster now at first. Strawberry moving to second. Over to third, Gary Carter. Ray Knight will be the batter. This meeting will, if nothing else, allow Rick Camp a little more time to warm up. The meeting breaks up, and Ray Knight will step in. The Mets had been platooning at third base, with Ray Knight starting against left-hand pitching, Howard Johnson starting against right-hand pitching, but neither player was having a very good offensive year. Knight still only hitting .180, but Davey Johnson, for the time being, has given Knight the third base job, hoping that by playing every day he can pick up on those numbers. From the windup, the pitch tonight. Again, the breaking ball missed.
Well, you're right. There's his story. If he can't throw that curveball for strikes, he's in a world of hurt.
Doesn't seem to be missing by much. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1 run in. And the 1-0 pitch coming. There's a fastball for a strike, 1-1. If Mailer can pitch out of this inning with no further trouble, the Mets will have had an inning very typical of them this year. They've had 4 hits and a walk in the inning, and so far only 1 run. Now the 1-1. Caught the outside corner. Mailer ahead in the count on Ray Knight. A ball and 2 strikes. Gary Carter is the runner at third. Darryl Strawberry at second. George Foster at first. 2 men out. We're in the top half of the first inning after a rain delay of nearly an hour and a half. And the 1-2 pitch struck him out with a fastball. Washington batting .270, 9 homers, 23 RBIs, fouls the fastball back out of play. Gooden pitching tonight for the first time all year with only 3 days rest. He was originally slated to pitch tomorrow night, but then the Mets realized if they kept him on that 4 days rest between starts program, he'd pitch only twice more before the All-Star break. By starting tonight, he can pitch 3 times. At least 1 for Washington. At least 2 for Claudel. He's gone to third. And he's going to make it without a throw. Washington really deked out the Mets defense. He slowed down just a little bit going into second. They thought he was going to stop. When he didn't, he took off for third. He's got a triple. Gooden will work from the stretch. Bouncing ball, it'll score the run. Santana on to Hernandez, gives Ramirez his 30th RBI of the year, and we've got a 1-1 game. One ball, no strikes.
If he were to ever time one of those fastballs, wouldn't that be something?
You'd wonder how far it could go. Here's the 1-0 pitch, high and tight, 2-0. Murphy has seen a little more of that the last couple of weeks. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way, and that missed. 3-0. He walked him on 4 straight. And the pitch to Horner is high, and that's 5 in a row now that Gooden has missed with. Down low, 2-0. 6 straight have missed the strike zone. The count still 2-0 on Horner. And it's now 3-0. Gooden uncharacteristically wild here in the bottom half of the first. He has missed with 7 straight. And the 3-0 offering is high, ball 4. Down to second goes Murphy. Down to first goes Horner. Terry Harper, the batter, hitting .244 with 7 homers and 33 runs driven in. 1 man out. The game is tied 1-1 in the bottom of the first. And there's a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. There's that Gooden curveball for a strike. 0-2. He has found the strike zone on Harper. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Curve, struck him out. The runners lead from first and second. And the pitch to Oberkfell is up high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Boy, he had some zip on that one. And the 1-1 coming. Off the end of the bat, foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Missed high. It's 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch is a curve that just missed inside. The runners go on the 3-2, and it missed inside to load the bases. 3 walks in the inning for Dwight Gooden. Gooden gets the windup back with the bases loaded and starts out Cerrone with a fastball for a strike 0-1. 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Missed downstairs, 1-2. Gooden deals the 1-2. Bouncing ball right side. Hernandez knocks it down. Gooden is there to cover. And the inning is over.
Well, Wally Backman leads it off. Top of the third inning of a 1-1 ball game. 1-0 to Wally Backman. He had an infield hit his first time up and then was picked off at first base. 1-1. Ground ball right side. Hubbard on a nice play. 1 out. Keith Hernandez, the batter, he doubled and scored the only run of the game for the Mets in the first. There's that fastball again, and you can bet that Hernandez is going to be sitting on it. Curveball is low, 2-0. Line drive, base hit, right center. No, it's not. Dale Murphy. No, now they're going to be called. They're calling him out. The right, and now Hernandez stops between first and second.
Oh, there's a bad call because Murphy gave it away.
Yeah, he did. He got up to throw the ball.
Murphy gave it away by getting up to throw the ball in a hurry back in. If he had caught the ball, there was no reason for that. And now Davy Johnson coming out to argue. No ball in that glove or in the hand.
But why would Murphy turn around, pivot, and make the throw strong into second base? And that's obviously Davy's point, and you picked up on it right away, Ralph.
Right there, it's in the glove. Now it goes down. He rolls over. And there's no ball. He picks that ball off the grass and fires it in, and that's a dead giveaway.
There's the ball right behind him.
Right behind him.
Oh, brother. Well, anyway, Gary Carter is the batter. 2 out, nobody on. A tough break for the Mets. 1-0 to Carter. He singled in Hernandez in the first inning. That shot clearly showed the ball behind Dale Murphy, and as you said, right away, he wouldn't have thrown it in like that if he had caught it. 2-0. 3-0 to Gary Carter.
One thing you have to really have is concentration when you're hitting 3-0.
There's a strike. And a fastball in the dirt. 1-1 to Darryl Strawberry. Darryl wants a new pelota. 1-1 to Strawberry. 2-1. 3-1 to Strawberry. But not on this pitch. Fastball was low to Darryl Strawberry, so Darryl walks. Third walk issued by Rick Mailer. 1-1, 2 out, first and second for the Mets, third inning. There's a strike on the corner. Another fastball. Mailer throwing a lot of fastballs tonight. That's not like him. George with 12 home runs. That leads all Mets hitters. Big 3-run blast in last night's game. 2-1. A slider is outside, so it's 3-1 to George Foster. And a breaking ball is outside and low, so Foster walks for the second straight time. No place to put Knight. Lines it to right, but Washington is there. And in 2 at-bats, Ray Knight has stranded 6. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 3 left after 2.5.
Okay, Pete, thank you very much. Dale Murphy leads it off against Dwight Gooden, and the curve is in there for a strike. I'll tell you what, if they play in these conditions for long, that infield is going to become unplayable. It's raining hard. Starter to go, held up on the curveball. The count evens at 1-1. Nobody on or out in the Atlanta third. Boy, he had a cut at the fastball, fouled it back. Here's your 1-2 pitch. He got him with a fastball, and that may be the best fastball he's thrown tonight. The let-up curve is high and inside. 1 ball, no strike. Pop foul back. Pop foul back this way. Two balls, 2 strikes. Up the middle, that's through there. Santana was slipping and sliding around in the muck. And the fans down below are getting absolutely drenched. Well, you can see how hard it is raining. You have never seen a group of players and umpires get off the field so fast in your life.
And Terry Tata, the home plate umpire, talking it over with Jerry Crawford.
Terry Tata is talking it over with Jerry Crawford, the first base umpire. And they're talking it over in a rather indecisive fashion. And no doubt they're talking about the protest lodged by Davy Johnson.
And the umpire is now taking the time because everybody's ready to play except for Terry Tata, the home plate umpire.
In the bottom of the third, Roger McDowell has replaced Dwight Gooden with the game tied at 1. 1 out and 1 on with Tim McCarver and Ralph Kiner on the call.
Well, we have a threat of rain in the air, and of course, we're only in the third. The game couldn't be an official game unless you go to 4.5 or 5 innings, dependent upon which team is ahead at the time. If it's a home team, it's 4.5 innings. A visiting team, it has to go through 5.
Terry Harper, the batter, he struck out his first time up. Gooden had 3 strikeouts and 4 walks in 2 1/3 innings. Harper entered the game batting .244. He's got power, 7 home runs, 33 RBIs. Bob Horner at first and 1 out. It's a 1-1 game, and we're already in the 3rd inning.
5 minutes to 11 here in Atlanta.
After all this time, a pickoff to attempt at first base.
Well, Horner's not going to be running, that's for sure.
No. Swing and a miss. 0-1 to Terry Harper. Backman cheating at second base. A little muddy around second. Probably the worst spot in the infield. Tapped in front of home, and it's foul. And Gary Carter is bending down. Looked like he had some mud flap in his face.
That's exactly what happened. That dirt that was spread out at home plate flew up from the force of the foul ball right into his eye.
And it's 0-2 to Terry Harper. Oh, close fastball, misses 1-2. McDowell's last appearance a couple of days ago against the Pirates. Pitched 1 inning and got the save. If you'll remember, he came in the 9th inning and got the save. That broke the Mets' 6-game losing streak as Harper stays alive. Where would the Mets be without Roger McDowell this year?
He has really picked up the bullpen with Jesse Roscoe having his problems.
A slider hit to center, and Dykstra coming hard. And there's just one thing about that. He was playing entirely too deep. You cannot allow a ball to drop with that much hang time, Ralph, and give a major league hitter a chance to capitalize on that. Base hit Harper.
Well, it's so impossible to play in the outfield. It is soaking wet, as you can see. No way to get any traction. And right here when that ball hits, it splashes up, and now look at that. Oh, that is tough.
These are not ideal playing conditions, and that's even more reason why you should be shallow. Dykstra entirely too deep right now. Oberkfell the batter. And a fastball, a strike. Still only 1 out. Oberkfell against Gooden walked in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Kenny Oberkfell.
Oberkfell with 1 home run last year. For the Atlanta Braves, he is not a power hitter.
He's always been a good average hitter. Last year, the first year, he hit under 290. He's batting 280 this year. One of his knocks in St. Louis was that he didn't drive in enough runs. He's got a chance to do some damage here, though. Line drive, right center field. That's going to score probably 2. Horner scores. Harper's going to score. Braves lead it 3-1.
but 2 big RBIs. His 16th and 17th of the year. As we look at it again, sinking fastball, he went down to get it. And with that outfield being so difficult to play out there, Strawberry cannot pick it up to get it back in. It's a wet ball, and one of those runs will be charged to Dwight Gooden, so he becomes a pitcher of record on the losing side of this ball game.
Rick Cerrone, the batter, and takes a fastball strike. 0-1 to Cerrone. RBIs number 16 and 17 for Kenny Oberkfell, and he hit a nasty pitch. Cerrone grounded sharply to Hernandez with the bases loaded back in the first. Good slider, 0-2. Slider. So Cerrone's out of there. First strikeout for McDowell. And the batter's going to be Glenn Hubbard.
Book is closed on Dwight Gooden. Gets charged with 2 in the 3rd innings of work and 2 runs. Gave up only 2 hits, struck out 3 and walked 4.
McDowell, and he's over to Keith Hernandez for the out, but the Braves unlocked the deadlock. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors and 1 left, and after 3 complete, it's 3-1 Atlanta.
Rafael Santana leads it off and takes high for ball 1. Santana flied to center his first time up. It's the top of the 4th inning. 3-1 Atlanta leads it. 2-0 now to Raffy. And Rick Mahler is back out there for Atlanta. A strike at the knees makes it 2-1. Terry Leach begins to loosen for New York. Roger McDowell is scheduled to hit next. And a ground ball hit sharply and knocked down by Oberkfell, but it'll be an infield base hit for Rafael Santana to lead off the 4th inning. Here's Clint Hurdle to pinch hit for Roger McDowell. So McDowell works only 2/3 of an inning. Hurdle on the year hitting .227 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. He is 0 for 6 as a pinch hitter.
I know Tom struck out 10 Padres in a row back in '73, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 73.
Dark recesses of the mind. Coming into the 4 again. Very dark. Very
yes,
recessed.
Especially after tonight. They're getting more and more recessed. 2 balls, no strikes on Hurdle. And a quick throw by Mahler to keep Santana close. Way outside, 3-0. 3-0 to Hurdle. And a strike call, 3-1. Check swing foul. If you're going to swing at a ball out of the strike zone, at least swing at it. Swing on and hit well to left, but it is going to be caught by Terry Harper. And here's the question again. Who broke up Tom Seaver's no-hitter in 1972 on the 4th of July? Who do you guess, Mr.
That was
McCarver?
the Padres he was facing.
That's what it says.
Jimmy Qualls.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
It was Leron Lee.
Oh, all right.
There's a blast from the past. Leron Lee singled in the 9th to break up Seaver's no-hitter in '72.
Jimmy Qualls did it for the Cubs, maybe. That's what I was thinking of, huh?
Dykstra with a base hit to left field. Santana will round and hold at second as Harper's up with the ball, sloshing his way through the grass. And Eddie is going to make the change, so Jeff Dedman will come into the game. Well, Dedman appears to be ready. The Mets have runners at first and second with 1 out here in the 4th inning as Atlanta leads at 3-1. And the batter will be Wally Backman, who is 1 for 2. Backman had an infield base hit in the first, grounded out to second baseman Glenn Hubbard in the 3rd inning. And Wally has hit .319 over the last 17 games. without bunting, but took high for ball 1. Wally now hitting .253. And tapped down the first baseline foul. So it's 1-1. Up the middle and a base hit to center field. Santana scores. Dykstra going to third. The ball again dying in the outfield, and it's now 3-2 Atlanta. Backman picks up the RBI, his 8th of the year. And the Mets now with runners at first and third and still only 1 out.
Good hitting by Wally Backman. His second base hit of the night. A slider right back through the originator. Hubbard can't get it, and watch that ball die right in the puddle. Murphy alertly coming in to field it. Had he not done so, Dykstra may have come home. Or you can't take anything for granted out there tonight. The swamp.
That center field area is where they dump a lot of the water that comes out of the tarp when they take it off the field, and it's just gotten worse as the night has gone on. Keith Hernandez, the hitter, as Dedman throws to keep Backman close. Hernandez tonight with a double and a run scored in 2 trips. He was robbed of a base hit on an incorrect call on a ball judged to be caught by Murphy, a line drive to center field in the 3rd inning. That one's ripped to right. Claudell Washington over, and he falls in the water, and the ball goes all the way to the wall. Dykstra scores. The game is tied. Backman's rounding third. He will score. Hernandez going to third, and he'll make it without a throw. The Mets have taken the lead 4-3. And I would assume they'll have to score at a triple, as Claudell went over, and just as he was getting to the ball, slipped and fell.
Well, it is scored a triple, and Keith Hernandez will take it, but these are terrible conditions under which outfielders have to play. There you see Washington. Looked like he was trying to make that catch on the slide there, as opposed to falling down.
Swings it one down and in, and it's strike 2. Mailer now charged with a total of 3 runs, pitching 3 1/3 innings. The 4th run here charged to Jeff Dedman. Carter had a single to center to drive in the Mets' first run. It was his 35th RBI of the year in the first. He walked in the 3rd inning. Fastball right back up the middle, another base hit and another RBI as Hernandez scores, and it's 5-3 New York. Carter now the club leader with 36 RBIs on the year, his 2nd of the evening.
You remember Oberkfeld's double in the last inning on an 0-2 pitch? That was one of those pitches you couldn't do anything about because it was a good pitch and it was low and away off the plate. The fastball there to Carter had the plate and was not a good pitch in the 0-2 count. If a guy reaches for it, then you give him credit. When a guy does not reach for it and still gets a hit on that 0-2 pitch, it's not a good pitch. And here it is. Too fat.
You saw Steve Shields beginning to warm up in the Atlanta bullpen, and Dedman's first pitch to Darryl Strawberry is a strike. Strawberry has singled to center and walked. 1-1. Straight base hits off Jeff Dedman, still only 1 out, with Carter at first base. And there's strike 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 as Cerrone blocks it. And that one obviously picked up a little mud. The Mets lead at 5-3, top of the fourth. Carter at first with one out. Grounded. First baseman flipping to Dedman, who outruns Strawberry to the bag. Horner and Dedman combining to get the out as Carter moves to second.
Nice play by Bob Horner. As Ralph mentioned earlier, he has not committed an error this year as a first baseman. Gives Dedman a pretty good lead pass, a little shovel, just like Staubach used to do to Tony Dorsett.
The old shovel pass.
From the shotgun.
Yeah, that is an old single wing play, as a matter of fact. Here's George Foster, who has been a red-hot hitter and has walked his first 2 times up tonight. Foster has a 7-game hitting streak. And the breaking ball catches the corner, strike one. George has hit .444 over his 7-game hitting streak and has driven in 11 runs in the last 11 games. A little bit low, 1-1. To right field. Claudell Washington in and over near the line. And the inning is over, but the Mets pick up 4 runs in the inning on 5 base hits, and they retake the lead. In the middle of the fourth, it's 5-3 New York. To the Mets' big 4-run fourth inning.
Well, he came in and gave up a run. I think if Leach or one of the middlemen pitched well, I think the official score will probably award Leach or one of the middlemen the victory.
That's right. The official score has that discretion. Jeff Dedman batting for himself.
I don't think the scoring's over, though, Steve.
Not the way things are going. Not the way that outfield is. 2 balls, no strikes. Two and one. Right off the plate and a mile in the air. Knight coming over to get it and gets him at first base. Nice play. Broken bat, base hit to center field. So Claudell 2 for 2 plus a walk with a 1-out single to center. Ramirez hitting .264. Outside, ball 1. Ground ball up the middle. Backman to Santana. They get one, and Raphael wisely holds on to the ball as it was too late, and he was in no position.
Talking about Terry Leach, since he's come up, this is his 5th appearance. He has given up only 1 run. He has struck out 5 and walked no one. Given up 6 base hits and 8 innings. He's done a fine job.
And he gets strike 1 on Murphy. Major League leading 20 home runs and 55 RBIs. And a ground ball foul outside of third. Murphy reaches out and pokes it foul, so it's still 0-2. Ground ball to third, slowly hit. Knight will have to hurry and makes a very good play to just nip Murphy. So the inning is over.
The bottom end of the order will hit in the 5th for the Mets. Ray Knight, Rafael Santana, and pitcher Terry Leach are due. Knight has struck out, line to right, and has left 6 men on base in the process. Deep short. Ramirez booted that. It's an error on Ramirez. Here's Santana. He started the 4-run uprising an inning ago with a single. He's 1 for 2. A little tap out in front of the plate. It'll act like a bunt. Cerrone's only play is to first. 2-3 put out on Santana. Knight is at second. And Terry Leach will bat. His first at-bat of the year. And probably his first at-bat in many, many moons. Fast strike from Dedman. Leach was 1-1 with the Mets in 81, 2-1 in 82. So he has batted before. He's been in pro ball since 76. And he's in the hole 0-2. Len Dykstra waits to hit next. That misses outside. Mr. Leach turns left, 2 out. Dedman records his first strikeout. And here's Dykstra, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Ernie Johnson, John Sterling will join you after this half inning. I'll bring you the rest of the game and the fireworks display. And that's upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. It's 5-3 New York. They have a runner at second with 2 out. They're in the 11th at Houston. Expos and Astros are tied 3-3. That will end the top of the 5th.
Neither team has scored in their next at bat, so we rejoin the action in the bottom of the 5th.
Bottom of the 5th here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, a soggy Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, a 5-3 New York lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And coming back in to call it, here's Tim McCarver.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. The wet head is dead. Man, bottom of the 5th inning. This game scheduled to start some 4 hours ago. An hour and a half rain delay to begin the game and about a 50-minute rain delay after the game got started. And those youngsters still up for the fireworks.
About half the crowd remaining, and if it were not fireworks night, I'll guarantee you there'd be far fewer people here.
Yes, sir.
Especially if they had to go to work tomorrow.
Bob Horner, the batter. He has singled, scored a run, and walked. Bob, 1 for 1, entered the game batting .257. Tap toward Knight, foul. The Mets need to win this game to keep pace with the Cardinals. The Cardinals won 3-2 against the Dodgers tonight. Joaquin Andujar with his 14th win.
And in the 10th inning, Montreal and Houston tied 3-3.
At the Dome, huh? Fastball on the inside corner. 0-2 to Bob Horner. Terry Leach, the 3rd pitcher of the game in his 2nd inning of work. with the fastball right on the corner. Some kind of piece of pitching by Terry Leach. 1 out. Well, Met fans, you can have it all with Michelob Light, super premium taste, and a less filling beer. And the batter, Terry Harper. Terry 1 for 2. He struck out in the first and then looped a single to center as the first hitter off Roger McDowell in relief of Gooden. Fouls this one out of play. 0-1 to Terry Harper.
If the Mets can win this game, Timmy, they will move into third place ahead of Chicago. The Cubs got beat by San Francisco today 6-4, and with St. Louis victory, the Cubs are now 5 games out. So a victory by the Mets to keep them 4.5 behind Chicago will move them ahead of, or rather behind St. Louis, will move them ahead of Chicago into third place.
And we'll keep an eye on that Montreal game for you too. Good sinker there. 0-2 to Terry Harper. New York leads. Mets with 9 hits and the Braves with 5. Base hit left field. There's that 0-2 pitch again. Well, you never think about it. All those situations come up. And I'll tell you, from a catcher's standpoint, those are the most irritating of things. You can't go out there every pitch, Steve, and say, all right, now it's 0-2. Let's make the guy reach to get a base hit. You just can't do that. Time will not allow.
But that's still the appropriate theory.
Yep. The guy reaches for it, hits it off the end of the bat, or you jam him. Nothing you can do about that. Kenny Oberkfell takes a strike, 0-1.
I think a lot of times, too, pitchers are influenced by the previous batter. Leach got Horner out on a called third strike on a fastball.
Right on the corner on the inside, though. Fastball misses, 1-1. I think if a pitcher were to put himself in the shoes of a hitter and realize how defensive a hitter is in that situation, he would understand how a hitter feels. And it's not unlike the good pitchers to be good hitters because they know how hitters feel.
Yeah, they take some pretty defensive swings themselves when they're hitting with 2 strikes on them. You'd think they'd have some empathy in that regard.
I think the good ones do. Ground ball. Backman, nice play. Got him at first. What a play, Wally Backman. Harper on the play, moving to second, and there are 2 out. Oh, brother. Man.
This is an outstanding play in 2 departments. First of all, to even get the ball, which even if he hadn't made the play would have kept Harper from going to third base. Wally fully extended as far as he can go. Hernandez hustling back to the bag, and the throw in the dirt picked by Hernandez to just nip Oberkfell, who is not blessed with great speed. Wally really hung in there.
Yeah, it was such a good play also, Steve, that Hernandez took it for granted, I think, that the ball was going to get through there. You know, he was kind of late in covering.
He was. He had to hustle back. Unfortunately, he wasn't very far from the bag, or it might have posed a problem.
That's right. Well, a great play by Wally Backman. Had that ball gotten through, it would have been runners at the corners and only 1 out. As it stands, Harper's at second, and there are 2 out. Rick Cerrone takes a strike, 0-1. Steve Shields, the right-hander, up and throwing again for the Braves. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Harper will score. Strawberry picking up that wet ball and throws it into second. So a clutch base hit by Rick Cerrone makes the score 5-4.
Under dry conditions, we'd have had a play at the plate right there because that ball would have gotten to Darryl Strawberry, and he would have been able to come up and throw. He still had an idea about throwing this ball until he grabbed it and found out how wet it was. The ball's pretty sharply hit, but when it gets out there, it just dies, as you see. And now when Darryl comes up with it, he thought about it and then thought better of it and wisely just threw the ball to second base.
So Cerrone's at first, Glenn Hubbard the batter, still 2 out. By the way, fans, harness racing from Roosevelt Raceway will be shown immediately following tonight's game. So don't look for John Biner's Bazaar tonight, but John will be on with Bazaar at 11 o'clock tomorrow evening. Roosevelt Raceway Racing this evening, and a fastball, a strike to Glenn Hubbard. Hubbard 0 for 2.
Terry Leach slipped on the mound when he delivered that pitch, and Carter went out to be sure that he was all right. Awful easy to turn an ankle. That mound has got a lot of clay in it, and when it gets wet, it gets very slippery.
Well, as you see, Terry Leach cleaning his spikes. That tongue depressor. Rick Cerrone at first base. 5-4 ball game. A slim one-run lead for the Mets. Swing and a miss at a good slider. And it's 0-2 to Glenn Hubbard.
If this game goes much longer, the harness show will be preempted by the farm report.
And Glenn Hubbard strikes out. Second strikeout for Terry Leach. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 stranded for the Braves. And after 5, it's 5-4 New York.
Mets lead at 5-4, top of the 6th. And Wally Backman takes it high outside, ball 1. And there's another base hit for Wally Backman. Hernandez was really slumping. That's what I heard. He hasn't been slumping here. He takes it down low. He's been hitting line drives. Knuckle curve is over, and the count evens at 1-1. He's not going, and the pitch is outside 2-1. There goes Backman. Curveball cut on a miss. The throw is not in time. He just got there. It's not a bad throw by Cerrone. He got that off very quickly. Backman had a good jump. The count on Keith is 2-2, and the Mets have advanced Backman to second base with no one out. Hernandez almost never strikes out. He struck out only 26 times this year. If he pulls a ground ball, he'll get Backman to third base. Takes it down low, 3-2. And Gary Carter on deck. Murph in center field makes the catch. Backman is tagging. Oh, he decides to come back, and it's a good thing. And there's another base hit. Backman won't score. He had to go back. And Murphy fires it back into second base. So the Mets have runners at first and third with 1 out.
Eddie Haas is going to walk out to home plate and probably do the old flip-flop.
Yeah, Dedmon's going to be up.
Leading up.
Dedmon's going to be up next inning, so I think that's what they will do. Steve Shields will come in.
And the Mets have runners at the corners and only 1 out with a 1-run lead.
Jeff Dedmon goes 2 full innings, pitching a third here in the 6th. Charged so far with 2 runs, both earned, on 4 base hits. No, I'm sorry. 6 hits he has given up.
All righty.
Struck out only 1 and walked none.
Mentioned Terry Leach from Selma, Alabama. Well, Steve Shields is from Etowah County, Alabama. E-T-O-W-A-A, Etowah County. 6'5", 220 pounds. They growing big in that part of the country, partner. Fastball outside to Strawberry. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Carter looking at the third base coach, Bud Harrelson, and he's going to make it standing up in third base. So Carter goes to third. Strawberry has an RBI. RBI number 14 for Darrell. And the Mets lead it 6-4.
That run charged to Jeff Dedmon. And the Mets now have 12 base hits on the night. Strawberry has 2. And the middle of the lineup, in addition to Wally Backman batting second with 3 hits. Really producing tonight, and that's the first time in a long time.
Mets with their hitting shoes on tonight. No doubt about it. We're in the 6th, still 1 out. They have 12 hits already. Foster the batter, and there goes Strawberry. Check swing was a strike, and Strawberry has a stolen base. And for Darrell, that's stolen base number 8 on the year. Well, they're going to walk George Foster. I don't know if I agree with this. Counts 0-1. You throw him some sliders, try to make him swing at a bad ball. There is a danger, however, of throwing a wild pitch.
Or making a mistake that he could hit.
Mm-hmm. Of course, our agreement is not necessary for Eddie Haas to make the move, is it?
No, but Eddie Haas has shown a tendency to be somewhat conservative in his managerial approach, and he's been criticized for it here in Atlanta.
Uh-huh. Eddie has certainly paid his dues. He's been with the Braves since 1958 in the Braves organization.
That's the 3rd time Foster has walked tonight, the first intentional pass of the game.
And a rarity, too. George, a free swinger. And the batter, Ray Knight. Ray 0 for 3. He was on an error in the 5th inning. And this is the 3rd time tonight in 4 at-bats he's been up there with the bases loaded. First 2 times there were 2 outs, and now there's 1 out. Mets trying to extend the lead. Ground ball to third, could be 2. There's 1 and 2.
Paul Zuvella will lead off for the Braves, batting in the 9th spot here in the bottom of the 6th. Braves down by 2, 6-4. There have been in the ball game 201 pitches thrown. Braves have thrown 115 pitches in 6 innings. That is an awful lot. Well, here's Zoo. In very limited play, hitting at 265. George Foster in left field should catch the fly ball, 1 away. There's a good close-up of Terry Leach. Dwight Gooden started for the Mets, then Roger McDowell, now Leach. And it's Leach's game to win or lose right now. Here's Claudel, who's tripled, walked, and singled. He's 2 for 2. That pitch outside, ball 1. That's the 3rd hit of the night for Claudel. Yeah, the balls are still scooting through the infield. It gives you an idea that this infield really is pretty good shape, because it's had a lot of water around it tonight.
He got that fastball just before it got outside of the plate. Claudel can pull a ball on the outside part of the plate, and it showed you.
Oh, the Braves again have the tying run at the plate. Here's Raphael. One and 0 after Rafi, Dale Murphy, and Bob Horner. We're in the bottom of the 6th. The 6-4 Mets. Braves now have 8 hits in the ball game. Fouled at the plate, 1-1. One of those games in California is now over. The Angels beat Boston 5-4. The other game in California goes to the 8th inning. Toronto and Oakland tied at 2.
Yes, in 5 minutes it'll be July 5th.
yes, it will. Runner is going. Carter throws him out by a lot. Well, that takes the runner off the base. That might just take the bat out of Murph's hands this inning.
Carter's got one of the best arms. And it was there in ample time. Washington slid right into it. 2 away.
Two outs here in the 6th. Base is now empty, and the count on Ramirez 2-1. Murph on deck. He'll get on if Ramirez reaches. Ray Knight stayed with it. Makes a good throw. Now that'll end the 6th inning for the Braves. No runs on a hit. No one left. At the end of 6, it's 6-4 Mets. We go to the top half of the 7th inning. We still have plenty of baseball for you. And then the fireworks show. And don't mention the word rain. Through 6, the Mets 6 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. And the Braves 4 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. Rafael Santana leads off for the Mets in the 7th, and tell you all about it. Here's Ernie.
Thank you, John. Santana, right-handed batter, 1 for 3. It's a minute after 12. Belated happy birthday, America. We love you. 209. Steve Shields. Here's the 0-1. Curveball outside. The Braves have used Mailer, Dedman, and now Shields. Dedman went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, no walks, and a strikeout. Little pop that should be handled by Paul Zavella. 1 down. Mailer went 3 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Here's a former Braves farmhand, Terry Leach. Up for the 2nd time, struck out the 1st time. And as John mentioned, an opportunity to win a ball game here. He hasn't won one this year. I don't have his overall record. He almost sawed that one off. A 1-hopper to 2nd. 2 away. Now Dykstra. Spirit of Atlanta Drum and Bugle Corps performed before the game, and they were just a delight to listen to. Many of the fans have headed for home, but we still got a representative crowd here. Dykstra has 1 hit and 4 tries. Little guy who chokes up on that bat. Tries to slap it around. And he has so far to the tune of 265 this year. He hasn't been here all season. Slapped that one into center field. A 2-out single and Dykstra's 2nd hit. Now Wally Backman. Looks very similar to Dykstra at the plate, and he has 3 hits tonight. The Mets now with 13 hits. They've had some problems this year producing runs, but you wouldn't know it tonight. Just a slight breeze blowing. We're in the 7th inning, 6-4 New York. Look out, that was a pitch out. Cerrone started to move, and I thought it was going to go over his head, but they had planned it, I guess. Got speed at first base. Shields holding him tight. He fakes going and gets back. Strike call. Backman didn't like the call. They asked for noise, I guess. One ball, one strike. Tonight, Rick Aguilera against Pascual Perez. Air time will be 7:35. Runner is going. That is a fly ball left. Harper should catch it. And he does. Terry Leach from over here in Selma, Alabama. Into the motion, and here's the pitch. Curveball strike. When you pitch this way, and I say it from experience of many minor league years and a few in the majors of pitching in that manner, had to finally get up on top to go against lefties. But you try to keep the ball sinking on the fastball and the curve like that away from the right-handed batters, because it's not going to be a downer, as they say. The curve is going to be flat, and you can't afford to hang it inside. You can ask Hank Bauer about that. So your sinker has to go down on the shoes if you can. Curve balls away, and once in a while a fastball on the outside part of the plate. But left-handers certainly do give you the most trouble. In fact, there have been some submarine pitchers, some underhand pitchers that threw curveballs that actually rose. Here's the 1-2. It won't be made yet. Quisenberry throws curveballs that go up at times, up and away from right-handed batters. Leach has pitched well. He's given up a run, but he's still got a 2-run lead. Curve is hit hard, and a nice play by Knight. He's been all over third. Ray Knight getting a chance to play. Has performed well. He's made a couple of tough plays over there. One down.
Well, Ray Knight's shown a very good glove and a good arm. He had shoulder troubles last year. Houston had to play him at first base, but his arm obviously is back.
Now Horner was walked, singled, and struck out. There's that curveball going away. 0-1. And the 0-1. Curve, he hung that one. John went over and found out on Terry Leach. He has a major league record of 4-2. He hasn't won a ball game this year. And the 1-1. A little bit low. 2-1. Two-1. Curveball in there, 2-2. And a 2-2. There it is. Curveball away. He's got a good one tonight. Strikeout of Horner. That's his second K. Here's Terry Harper. Harper is 2 for 3. Struck out in the first inning against Dwight Gooden. Oberkfell comes to the on-deck circle. They're in the 12th. Montreal 3, Houston 3. Strike call. And the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Correction on Leach's strikeouts. He has 3. And the 1-1. Fouled away. He had 2 strikeouts in the 5th. That was the inning the Braves scored their run. And then he picked one up here in the 7th. Here's a 1-2. Foul away. Want to remind the baseball hopefuls who want to try out. The Braves have a tryout camp going Saturday, July 6th, Greenville, South Carolina, at the Greenville Braves Park. Between the ages of 16 and 23, you can try out. You need permission if you're an American Legion player. Foul away. That's Saturday coming up. Greenville Braves Park, 9 o'clock in the morning. Get up and at them. We've had a lot of success in the turnouts. A lot of kids out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Broken bat grounder. Knight's got another chance. And he's perfect. That's a 1-2-3. We go to the 8th. It's still 6-4 New York.
Now go to the top of the 8th inning. The Mets leading the Braves 6-4.
And we're going to the top of the 8th inning with Keith Hernandez to lead off. Keith has had some kind of a night. He has hit 4 solid line drives. In the first, a double to left center field. In the third, a double to center field. He was robbed of a base hit by the umpire's decision. The ball was not caught by Dale Murphy, but the umpire called it a fair catch. He then tripled the right field when Claudell Washington fell down on his line drive and then lined out the center in the 6th. And he takes high for ball 1.
Maybe it's indicative of the fact that Keith has broken out of that horrendous slump that he has been in. He's likened it to being in a deep, dark forest and not being able to see out.
And a foul ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, he has hit 4 balls right on the nose. Mets have had 6 runs on 13 hits. Atlanta 4 runs on 8. Shields with a high curveball and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Paid attendance here tonight, 44,947. They were expecting fireworks after the ball game, but a large majority of the crowd has gone home. And another drive by Hernandez. If it's fair, it's a home run, and it is long gone. Keith Hernandez with a home run, and that ball clotheslined out of here. Well, the forest has been cut down, Steve.
Yeah, those line drives have sliced those trees right into kindling tonight. Hernandez with his 5th home run of the year. The Mets are now up by 3, 7-4. And boy, put a stopwatch on this one. This ball is out of here in a hurry, and it never did get any more than about 50 feet off the ground. And it goes right over the right field fence on a line.
That gives the Mets a lead of 7-4 and brings up Gary Carter, who's 3 for 3 with a walk. And there's ball 1. Well, Keith certainly breaking loose here in tonight's ball game. He has hit 5 shots. 3 of them have been base hits, and there's a strike call to Carter. Carter has singled up the middle 3 times in this game. Also walked on 4 pitches. Now hitting .277. And this one chopped foul. Carter with his 3 for 3 has raised his batting average. He's 11 points. Shields came into this game with a record of 1 win and 2 losses, an earned run average of 4.19. Basketball player.
Big enough to play anything.
Tries the breaking ball and the count 2-2. He was an All-America basketball player after going out for that sport. He went to, how about this for a name? Brad Hooks Bluff High School. And this ball lined, but it's foul. Shields never got to the Red Sox. He was in their organization for 7 years. And in 1984, he pitched at Richmond, where he was 9-4 with 4 saves. A liberated ball player with a new rule they have in the minor leagues. If you're on a team for 6 years, you then can become a free agent. And strike 3. Good curveball. So Shields picks up his first strikeout. And with 1 away, the batter will be Darryl Strawberry. Darryl is 2 for 3 in the ball game. Singled his last time up to score a run, driving in Wally Backman from third base. Darryl also singled to center field back in the first inning. 1 ball, no strikes. Mets leading 7-4 as they bat here in the top of the 8th inning with 1 man out.
Also swinging the bat better tonight than he has since he's come back from that thumb injury.
And he fouls a fastball back. Mets have to win to stay even with St. Louis and Montreal. The Cubs lost, so they'll pick up a game on the Cubs and go into 3rd place if they win this ball game tonight. Mets would remain 4.5 games back of the St. Louis Cardinals. 2 balls, 1 strike to count, and Shields back to Strawberry. That puts the count at 3-1.
Montreal beat Houston with 6 runs in the top of the 12th inning. The Expos keeping pace with St. Louis. The final was 9-3 Montreal over the Astros in Houston in 12. Houston's lost 7 in a row.
And a strike call, 3-2. Cardinals remain a game and a half up in Montreal. They'd be 4.5 up on the Mets and 5 up on the Cubs if the Mets win here tonight. And a drive to right field. Washington over to cut it off. Strawberry rounds at first base and holds there with his 3rd hit of the ball game. So the Mets continue to wrap that ball. Their 14th base hit.
Strawberry hit a rocket. Ball out there to Claudel in a hurry on 1 hop.
Shields now has given up 1 run on 4 hits since coming into the ball game on the Atlanta side, and the 6th with 1 out. George Foster, the batter, has walked 3 times. He also has flied out, so his hitting streak is 7 games in jeopardy. And this one grounded to the shortstop. It's over to the second baseman on the first to double play. That's double play number 94 for the Atlanta Braves. They lead the National League. In the inning, 1 run on 2 hits, no one left on base to score at the end of 7.5. It is the Mets 7 and the Braves 4.
7-4 New York. Here's the first pitch. Curve strike. Jesse Orosco really isn't having an Orosco year with only 6 saves. 1-1, lost 4, but his ERA is excellent, 2.87. There's a base hit to right field by Oberkfell. The Braves need 3 to tie. They need base runners and then a long ball. Strike call. A little bit high. Cerrone has a single and an RBI. It came in the 5th. The ball all the way to the screen. Let's see if that's a wild pitch or a pass ball. Looked like Carter could have caught it. It was a curveball. 2-1. That got away. 3-1. Last season he saved 31 ball games. Outside corner. 3-2. On the way. That is ball 4. They start their bullpen. Might be Sisk. Doug Sisk. Strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ooh, what a cut on a fastball up. 1-2. Here's a 1-2. Boy, did he pull that breaking ball. Now the 1-2. He got the second on a pass ball. That is called strike 3. Now Zavella with 1 down. Braves need at least 1 more hit in this inning to make it interesting. They trail 7-4. See if Zavella can deliver it. He's 0 for 1, and the fastball's a little tight. Foul away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orozco with a 1-1. Tried to hit that outside corner, just missed it. Now the 2-1. Hit the center field, but it's going to be caught. Dykstra at the track. Zavella hit it well, but the straightaway center. Oberkfell tags at second, goes to third, but now it takes a 2-out hit. Braves fans thinking downtown Charlie Brown as Washington comes to the plate. He represents the tying run, but he's facing a tough lefty. Cerrone's at first and Oberkfell at third. Washington tripled the first time up, later scored. He put on a good display of base running to get to third. And that's hit foul past first. Pitch is low and away. Curve hung inside. 2-1. 2-1. 2-2. Runners lead and the 2-2. Outside. 3-2. Now Cerrone will run and Oberkfell will hold the bag at third. 3-2 offering. Foul away. High ball 4. That loads him for Ramirez. Ramirez with the bases loaded. Orozco knowing he's pitching to his last man in this inning. If he gets him out, he can go sit down. If he doesn't, Sisk is going to face Murphy. First pitch. Ball. 1-0. 0 for the night. He's 0 for 4. And the pitch. Ball. 2-0. Getting a little testy, and here comes Davy Johnson. He may have seen enough. 2 balls and no strikes. Now all the pitcher has to do after making that statement is get it over. Bases loaded. He's not winding. 2 balls and no strikes. Strike called. He did. 2-1. And the 2-1. Outside, ball 3. And the pitch. Ball 4. He had to take, you could tell, a run in on a walk with the bases loaded. That makes it 7-5 with Murphy coming up. Well, Jesse Orozco has walked himself right out of this ball game.
The Mets have just made a pitching change in the bottom of the 8th. The bases are loaded with 2 outs. Doug Sisk will face Dale Murphy with the Mets leading 7-5.
Well, what has been a long evening looms even longer as, of course, we're only in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Ball game started 5 hours ago.
Almost exactly. Well, we're scheduled to start Murphy receiving a semi-standing ovation as he comes to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 out. He is 0 for 3 plus a walk. And Murph, of course, leads the major leagues with 20 home runs this year. The Mets lead 7-5. And the fastball is high. It's not easy to be high to Murphy. He's 6'5".
Pitch was awfully close.
Well hit into the gap in left center field. It's in there and by Dykstra. The bases will be cleared and Atlanta takes the lead 8-7. With his 16th double of the year, now has 58 RBIs.
Well, here it is again. 2 men out, bases loaded, and 3-run score. That puts Atlanta up by a score of 8-7. Murphy now second in the National League in runs batted in. And from any angle, this ball well hit. Murphy getting his first hit of this ball game, and it is a big one.
Bob Horner, the batter, and Horner swings and fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. All 3 runs charged to Jesse Orozco, who is charged with a total of 4. And all 3 of those who just scored were walked. 1-1 to Horner. Horner on the night is 1 for 3 plus a walk and a run scored. Two balls, 1 strike. Bruce Sutter is now up, as you see, in the Atlanta bullpen. And Bruce looks ready. A line drive caught by Backman, and the inning is over. So 2 balls smoked off Doug Sisk. And the 3-run double by Dale Murphy has given the Atlanta Braves an 8-7 lead as we go to the 9th inning.
And now back to 10 amazing games on MSG Network.
Well, if the Mets are going to come back here in the 9th inning, they're going to have to do it against one of the best. Bruce Sutter on to relieve in the 9th inning. 4th in the National League with 15 saves and a record of 4-3 on the year. Sutter will be facing Ray Knight, Rafael Santana, and Danny Heap here in the 9th, with Atlanta leading 8-7. Strike 1.
Sutter has been scored upon only 1 time in his last 5 ball games. He's had 4 saves. Prior to that, he had been scored on in 6 straight appearances.
He is human. And that split-fingered pitch down too low, 1-1 to Ray Knight. Ray has had a tough night. He's been up with the bases loaded 3 out of 4 times. He struck out, lined out, reached on an error, and grounded into a double play. And he rips 1 foul outside the left field line for strike 2, 1-2. Scored 4 in the 4th to take the lead, and Atlanta scored 4 in the bottom of the 8th on only 2 base hits but 3 walks from Jesse Orozco to regain the lead. Sutter gets the first out in the 9th. Johnson is going to pinch hit for Rafael Santana. Hojo, the left-handed batter, hitting only 194 on the year. 2 home runs and 11 RBIs as Davy Johnson looks on. As does Eddie Haas.
Suter with 275 saves in his major league career.
Strike one. Johnson against the Braves this year, 2 for 12. And he lines one to left for a base hit. So the Mets have the tying run aboard with 1 out here in the 9th inning as Johnson comes through with a pinch hit single.
That is the Mets' 16th base hit. Braves have had 10.
And New York will have another left-handed hitter up against Suter in Danny Heap. Suter wants a new baseball. Or at least another one. Doesn't have to be new.
Going back to May 7th, Gary Carter hit a grand slam home run in the 8th inning of a Mets win off of Bruce Suter. Only the 3rd grand slammer ever given up by Suter. Lopes and Landreau getting the other 2.
Danny Heap hitting 259. No homer, or rather 5 homers and 25 RBIs. He looks at a ball. 1 out and the tying run on, and Howard Johnson at first. Ball 2. Suter doesn't like that baseball either.
And action in the bullpen now for Atlanta. Left-hander Terry Forster starting to throw.
And there's the big T. Two balls, the count to Heap. And the split finger gets it done. It's 2-1. Danny checking with Terry Tata to see if that would have been a strike had he not swung. Fouled away out of play. 2-2. Inning here in Atlanta, and an 8-7 Atlanta Braves lead as they scored 4 in the bottom of the 8th. The big blow, a bases loaded 2-out double by Dale Murphy to give them a 1-run advantage. Danny Heap lines one into left center for a base hit. Johnson will go to third. Harper up with the ball to second base, and the Mets have runners at first and third with 1 out. A 2-2 pitch lined for a base hit by Heap.
Well, a big play in left field by Terry Harper to keep Heap from going on down to second. That keeps the double play in order for Atlanta and keeps the go-ahead run off of second base. And that ball was hit into the gap in left center. Let's look at it again. Heap is not fast, so he could not make that second base move.
And Len Dykstra grounds one. Horner going to Suter. They don't get him at first base. A run scores, and the game is tied. Dykstra with an infield base hit for the RBI as Johnson scores from third, and it's 8-8 here in the top of the 9th inning. Third consecutive hit off Suter, and the Mets still with runners at first and second, and still only 1 out. Dykstra's third hit of the night and his 5th RBI of the year. Now the batter will be Wally Backman. And he takes strike 1. Backman tonight, 3 for 5. He's had an RBI, scored 2 runs, and stole a base. 1-1. 28 hits and 16 runs total in the ball game so far tonight, and we are not through yet, even though we are approaching 1 a.m. Eastern time. Split finger and a beauty. It drops like a rock, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball. Zuvela at second, goes to second and gets Dykstra as Ramirez covers. Heap advances to third base. Backman safe at first on the fielder's choice. 2 out. And runners at first and third for New York. And the batter will be the red-hot Keith Hernandez as Gary Carter prepares on deck.
And when Keith gets into the batter's box, look where he is going to stand. He will be up in the box. He has moved up toward the pitcher to try and take away that down action of the split finger fastball.
Keith doesn't miss very much when it comes to combating good pitching. That's why he has been so successful so consistently throughout his major league career. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. He does not like the call and lets Terry Tata know it.
Tata's saying, get back in the batter's box. Don't get kicked out of here, Keith.
Hernandez going to take a minute now, and Suter was off the mound. Cerrone's going to go out to talk to him, and now he wants the infield to come in, or at least Ramirez, as they're going to have a little conference. So Hernandez will have a moment to regain his concentration. Keith tonight has doubled, tripled, and hit a home run. He has scored 3 runs, driven in 3 runs. While going 3 for 5, he was robbed of a double on an umpire's call in the third. Foul back, and Hernandez in the hole 0-2.
That was a fastball right there, not the split finger forkball.
Keith had a big rip, but just missed it.
He has the easiest of the base hits to hit for the cycle, the single.
Fouled away again.
And again, Suter going to the fastball. So by moving up in that box, it has changed the way Suter has worked to him.
Interesting game, isn't it? Just like a chess match going on. Move and counter move. Two strikes, 2 out and 2 on. Ball 1.
And again a fastball.
One and 2. Another one high. 2 and 2.
He has thrown him all fastballs. Well, if that takes away a split finger forkball, everybody ought to be hitting in the front of the batter's box.
We'll see guys up there from now on if it works. Hernandez skies one into left center field. Harper and Murphy coming in, and Harper makes the catch. But the Mets tie the ball game with a run on 3 hits here in the 9th inning off Bruce Suter, and Atlanta takes it into the bottom of the 9th, tied 8-8. Howard Johnson, who pinch hit for Rafael Santana, stays in the game to play shortstop as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. And here is the play on which the game was tied.
Right here, Dykstra tops the ball out to the first base side. Suter a little late getting off the mound. Great diving stop by Horner. He throws over to Suter, but no chance for Suter to beat Dykstra, who makes the dive by the bag. And on that play, the time run scored, and now we're in the bottom of the 9th.
And with live action, it's 1 strike to Terry Harper as Doug Sisk gets him to jam one to Keith Hernandez, and there's 1 out. Dougie, working in relief, gave up the 3-run double in the 8th inning to Dale Murphy, on which the Braves took the lead 8-7. Gets the first out here in the 9th. here's Ken Oberkfell, who is 2 for 3 plus a walk, 2 RBIs on the night, and he was robbed of another base hit by Backman. He looks at 1 low for ball 1.
And it's starting to sprinkle again here.
Just a little bit high, I guess. Ball 2.
One thing about Terry Tete, he certainly isn't an umpire for high pitches. He really calls it down.
There's a strike, 2-1. Well, that might have had an effect on Dwight Gooden's walking 4 and pitching only 2 1/3 tonight. Seems like yesterday. It was so long ago.
And it
was yesterday. We've been here 5.5 hours. On the corner, and it's 2-2. Oberkfell coming in and playing third base with Horner moving over to first. Since that time, these two have really been hot. This one ground a fair ball to Hernandez, who will take it himself, and there are 2 away. And here's Rick Cerrone. Cerrone on the night, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. He walked and scored in the 8th inning. 2 out and nobody on, bottom of the 9th inning, and an 8-8 tie. Good pitch from Doug there, and it's strike 1. Cerrone hitting .242 with 2 homers and 12 RBIs. Just missed 1-1.
That was an unusual slider thrown by Sisk there.
That caught the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball foul. And the count remains 1-2.
If Cerrone can get on, Chris Chambliss will be the batter. He's in the on-deck circle.
Here's a 1-2.
Fouled away again. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dougie trying to battle back to his excellent form of previous years. Pitching well here in the 9th. And another never, and this one rolling just foul outside the first base line, which is a break for Cerrone, because had the ball stayed fair, Hernandez had an easy play. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out and nobody on. Right back up the middle. Howard Johnson in a bad hop goes up his arm and into center field. Johnson was there, but the ball crawled right up his arm and over his arm into center.
Here it is again. He had a play, but this ball taking that up hop at the last minute. There you see it, right over the glove. 2 bad hops, as a matter of fact, right in front of Howard Johnson, who is at shortstop.
Well, they have yet to score it. Cerrone is going to be pinch run for. And Albert Hall is loosening in the dugout, now just coming out. So the speedy Albert Hall, representing the winning run with 2 out here in the 9th inning, will be the pinch runner for Cerrone. And as you mentioned, Ralph, Chris Chambliss will be the hitter. Now they have scored it, and they have given Howard Johnson an error. Okay. I don't think he touched that ball either, but we're not scoring the game. Chambliss takes strike 1, hitting .202, no home runs and 9 RBIs. With Horner playing first, Chambliss has been relegated to that pinch hitting role.
He's 4 for 22 as a pinch hitter with 3 runs batted in.
1-1. Chambliss batting for Suter, so if the game remains tied and we go to the 10th, Suter will now no longer be available. And a ground ball to second. Backman over to first, and we will go to extra innings, as if we haven't been here long enough already. So stay with us if you can. It's 1:06 a.m. Eastern time, but we will be back to Atlanta in this 8-8 ball game.
And then you have another good lefty hitter up in Keith Hernandez, and after Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry. So Terry Forster's third inning. He normally does not pitch any longer than this. And the count 2-0. In fact, to be truthful about it, he usually pitches 2 innings or less. He is leading off, due to lead off in the bottom of the 12th. If the Braves pinch hit for him, they have only one player left. That's Paul Runge. Usually you try to save that player just in case. There's a strike, 2-1. The Mets still have a pretty good bench left. And they're keeping their players. There's a strike. For example, the guy they platoon with Backman, Kelvin Chapman, the right-hand hitter, has not been used tonight, but they're not using him here. 2-2 on Backman. There's one away. The Mets have 8 runs on 18 hits. The Braves have 8 runs on 12 hits. There have been 10 pitchers used. And we're in the top of the 12th. Hernandez has had a double, a triple, and a home run, and he hit a drive that Dale Murphy left his feet for and made a great attempt. He caught the ball, then the ground knocked the ball out of his glove. But the umpire out there called it an out, didn't see the ball come out. Hernandez stopped rounding first. Braves threw the ball back and tagged him out in the base paths. And the 1-1. There's a base hit, and he hits for the cycle. So that takes care of that. I was going to say that if they just called him out for being tagged out, he would have had the base hit. Now he is hit for the cycle. Double, triple, home run, and single. And much more important than that, he is the potential winning run. Potential go-ahead run, anyway. And Gary Carter has 3 hits. The first 5 players in the order, Dykstra, Backman, Hernandez, Carter, and Strawberry, have, I think, 16 hits between them. I'd have to check that, but something like that. The Braves hoping for 2, and Carter takes it high, ball 1. Carter's 3 hits are all singles. That is Tom Gorman of the Mets bullpen. And that could be 2. There's one of them. Low throw, good scoop by Perry. Gerald Perry made a fine scoop. It's a 6-4-3 double play. No runs on a hit. Will go out to that double play. Paul Zavella, by the way, has a very strong arm at second, but he threw this one straight down, and Perry made a nice scoop. We go to the bottom of the 12th, tied at 8. Give me a light. For himself. There's CNN's Craig Sager down there with the red shorts. That's his lovely wife, Lisa. Watching themselves on the matrix board. It'll be Terry Forster, then Paul Zuvella, and Claudell Washington. You know what? There's a July 4th we're not going to forget. We got to the bottom of the 12th, tied at 8. Hernandez, by the way, for those of you who like statistical nonsense, is the 4th Met to hit for the cycle. Terry Forster will dig in. And Wally Backman will throw him out, 1 away. One away, and here's Paul Isabella. Isabella ended the game in the 6th inning. The Hub had started at second base. They have to have a fireworks show. Look at all these fans who have waited through all these rain delays in this long game, but I don't think that's the way they had it drawn up, have they? All right, now here's the pitch to Isabella. Doug Sisk going to strike. It is 1:40 here in Atlanta. And 0-2 on the Zoo. I don't want to say the people here getting batty. I just was given a line score for the game New York and Atlanta. Well, Backman makes another good play. He's made a lot of good plays tonight. 2-way. Well, here's Claudel. You look at Wally Backman. As you know, Claudel has the power to hit it out. And I think he would be forgiven by everybody if he took 3 gigantic swings at anything close. 2-way, bottom of the 12th. There's one swing. You know what happens in these games? The longer you go, the more tired the guys get. No one ever scores. And we know last year we played an 18-inning job against the Dodgers out in L.A., and this year an 18-inning game against the Giants here. One and 2. Apparently Terry Forster is going to work another inning. There is no one warming up in the Braves bullpen. And the reason you say, well, he hit for himself, but he hit for himself because the Braves have only one player left on the bench, Paul Runge, and you really have to save that one player just in case your catcher gets hurt or just in case you're down by a run in the bottom half of an inning. C-Dub stays alive. Danny Heap makes the catch near the foul line, and that ends the inning. Sisk retires him. 1-2-3. Nothing across for the Braves. All tied at 8.
And Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta. It's the top of the 13th. Terry Forster pitching for the Braves. The game is still tied.
Here we go again. Top of the 13th inning. Darryl Strawberry leading it off. And a ball to Darryl. Darryl on the night, 3 hits and 4 times up plus 2 walks, and it's 1-1. Terry Forster working his 3rd inning of relief. Make that his 4th inning of relief as he came in the 10th. And a strike called, and it's 1-2. That bounces away. 2-2. Darryl singled to center in the 1st, walked in the 3rd, had an RBI single to right in the 6th, stole a base, and then singled to right again in the 8th inning. He also walked in the 10th and was stranded. So Darrell looks like he's swinging a good bat, getting back in the groove after that long layoff. But he's called out here on strike 3 from a tough left-handed pitcher. Second strikeout, third strikeout for Terry Forster. Forster's only given up a walk and a base hit in 3 1/3 innings of work so far. Now here's Kelvin Chapman to pinch hit for Doug Sisk. Chapman on the year hitting only 185, but he's doing better than that as a pinch hitter. As a pinch hitter this year, Chappie is 5 for 17 with 2 pinch hit RBIs. So Doug Sisk works 3 1/3 innings, 4 1/3 innings. I'm going to get caught up here. No runs on 3 hits. Did not strike out anybody and walked only 1. And that was an intentional pass to Ken Oberkfell. So a good outing for Doug. Strike call to Chapman. The only blemish on Doug's record, the double he gave up to Dale Murphy that allowed the runners that Jesse Orozco had walked to score. That just missed. 1-1. And the big T is working up a sweat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This may be the longest that Forster's gone.
Very well could be.
Popped up down the left field line. Ramirez. And they're 2 away. Out with nobody on, and the batter will be Ray Knight. Knight has had 1 tough night at the plate. He is 0 for 6. He has struck out twice, grounded into a double play. He has been up 3 times with the bases loaded, once with 2 out and once with 1 out, and failed to plate a run. But he gets a base hit here. So a 2-out single to left by Knight. And the Mets have the go-ahead runner aboard. Only the second hit off Terry Forster.
You see that defiant look on Ray Knight's face. Sometimes he gets so darn mad, Steve, that you could bite the head off a rattlesnake, and I'm sure that's the way Ray feels.
Played great in the field tonight, but really struggled at the bat.
Yep.
Howard Johnson, up for the 3rd time, is 1 for 2. He had a pinch hit single to left and scored in the 9th inning. The tying run for the Mets that sent us to extra innings. And he takes a ball up and away. And we're spending a week here tonight.
I've done that in other towns less pleasurably than I have tonight.
Yes. Mainly because now you're at the ballpark and then you weren't.
Correct.
Foul back. And the count now 1-1. Johnson batting right-handed for the 2nd time. His base hit came left-handed back in the 9th inning.
Tell you one thing, this long game will make those grits taste better after the game, right?
Boy, show me where we can get some.
Man.
Missed the high, hard one. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Since the hotel has all-night room service, I might go by and get a little country ham, red-eye gravy, grits, couple of eggs, toast, coffee. Perfect.
When we got here last night, Rusty Staub ordered grits, and they told him they didn't have them until 3:30. That'll work out perfectly because we probably won't be back to the hotel till 3:30.
Right. Perfect.
Foul back again, still 1-2.
If we get back there before then, I'll wait until 3:30.
That's right.
Man.
And you may have to wait that long for room service the way the hotel's been with all the conventioneers.
Well, the one good thing about this game, we'll miss that steel band in the lobby.
Don't bet on it. 2-2.
They have a huge Shriners convention. And with my luck, I'll probably find one of them in my room on a motorcycle or something, blowing a horn.
I tell you, I've seen enough of those hats to last me a lifetime.
Oh, man.
Everywhere you turn. Foul back again, and it's still 2-2 to Howard Johnson. 2 out. Ray Knight at first base with a 2-out single to left. It's an 8-8 ball game, top of the 13th inning. And if you tuned in looking for Sermonette, you'll just have to wait.
We've got the right guy in the booth to give it. The good Father Murphy, the traveling chaplain of the Mets, is here.
Father Daniel Murphy from Brooklyn, USA.
Yes, sir.
Hanging in there with the rest of us. Father Murphy takes his vacations and follows the ball club. Well hit to left field. It's back a ton. Out of here. Home run. Howard Johnson and the Mets take a 10-8 lead in the top of the 13th inning.
You talk about out of the depths of despair. Howard Johnson, his second hit in 3 at-bats. 2 happy guys right there. Man, Ray Knight has stranded 10 runners tonight. Howard Johnson has not had a home run from the right side this year. And this is why that dugout is so jubilant. Johnson with 12 home runs last year, only 2 from the right side, and he really gets into this one. And a jumping Terry Harper can't come up with it. 10-8 New York.
Danny Heap, the hitter. Look at that dugout. Hojo is a very popular player on this ball club, and they are all happy for him. His 3rd home run of the year, and he now has 13 RBIs. But none have been any bigger previously this year than these 2 right here.
And the 1-1.
Down low to Heap, and the count 2 balls, no strikes. Danny batting for the 3rd time is 1 for 2. He had a single back in the 9th inning. Grounded to first base. Gerald Perry picks it, and the inning is over. But a 2-run home run with 2 out, following a 2-out base hit by Ray Knight here in the 13th, has given the Mets a 10-8 lead as we go to the bottom of the 13th inning.
Hi.
So we'll go to the bottom of the 13th, nearing 2 a.m. Eastern time, with a 10-8 New York lead. Tom Gorman is in to pitch for the Mets.
And Tom Gorman is really the last available pitcher for the New York Mets. If you remember, he won an 18-inning game this year where he worked 7 innings against the Pirates. And that was back on April 28th. That was the 18th. Boy, the Mets played some weird ball games. The 18-inning game, this one tonight, starting at 7:35. Technically 6 hours and 21 minutes old now. Tom 3-3 on the year, his 18th ball game. He started a couple. That 4.70 ERA is very deceptive. 30 2/3 innings of work. And the moon is a balloon, as David Niven would say.
Well, he'll have to face some tough hitters here in the 13th. Rafael Ramirez to lead it off against Gorman, with Dale Murphy and Gerald Perry to follow, and it's ball 1 to Ramirez. Ramirez tonight 1 for 5, plus a walk, a run scored, and 2 RBIs. Strike 1, 1-1. Raffy hitting .265, 3 homers and 31 RBIs. Drill deep down the left field line, but it's hooking foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Steve, I don't want to confuse praise with mushy flattery, but you know, all during the time that Howard Johnson has been going through that miserable slump in which he has been mired since the beginning of the season. Not one complaint, not one excuse in the paper. Nothing about changing leagues, nothing about the pitching in the National League.
There's a base hit into left center. So the Braves come right back, down by 2 in the bottom of the 13th with a leadoff single from Ramirez. I know what you're saying. He's really handled it like a pro.
Yeah, he has. And, you know, he's hitting a $190 or so. May have lifted it to 200 tonight. He's really had his problems, but to his everlasting credit and impressionable feelings that he's left on his players and the traveling group, he has handled everything very, very well, as best as he possibly could. No helmet throwing, no ripping the umpires, no nothing. He's handled it like a man who is 4 times 7.
Which makes it even more joyous in that dugout when it's Hojo who gets the big 2-run homer. But here's a guy that can hit him as well. Dale Murphy is 1 for 5 with a 3-run double in the 8th that brought Atlanta from a deficit to a 1-run lead at the time. Fouled off. 1-1. Doug Sisk pitched 4 1/3 innings, gave up no runs, 3 hits, did not strike out a batter, and walked only 1. And Doug right now stands to be the winning pitcher.
And Ray Knight on the line at third base. I tell you, if he hits one into the position and you're there, you have a double play that ends a ball game, or that puts it 2 out, nobody on.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And Murph's not a pull hitter. I mean, and Gorman's not going to give him anything to pull.
That's a good point.
Murph is a guy who sprays the ball around. He has great power the other way, a straightaway hitter.
He's a left center to right center hitter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Even against left-handers and even against a guy with a fork ball.
Struck him out of there. 1 out in the bottom of the 13th. And the batter will be Gerald Perry. The Mets have 10 runs on 21 hits, 1 error. Atlanta 8 runs on 13 hits and 1 error.
Same true really for Keith Hernandez right now with the 2-run lead, 1 out in the bottom of the 13th. Really play behind him. Give him the base. Give him second base. They're not going to steal anyway.
Perry's 0 for 1. He taps back to the pitcher his first time up. Knight still guarding the line at third as well. Strike 1. Or strike 2, I should say. 0-2. Hernandez is semi-holding the runner, Ramirez, and coming off the bag, but it's not the same as playing the position.
Yeah, you just play right back into position. If he wants to take a chance and steal second base, let him go ahead and do it. That's not the run that is going to beat you. That's going to pull you 1 run closer, and you only got 2 outs to get 3. Now he's behind him.
The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 called. Gorman, after giving up a leadoff base hit to Ramirez, has struck out Murphy and Gerald Perry. Tom looking to pick up his first save of the year.
Now Keith asking the dugout where he wants him to play, and Davey Johnson says close in behind him. But really, this is a position where you just play right back in your position just like nobody's on. You want an out. You don't care about this man right here.
And the out is a tough one. Gerald Perry is 3 for 6 with 2 runs scored, 2 singles and a double. Strike 1. Perry hitting .251, 7 homers, 33 RBIs. Strike 2. Gorman with that fork ball. And he's 1 strike away from closing the door. Foul back. 2 out, 2 strikes on Perry. Or Harper, I should say, who just hit it down the line. Fair ball. Home run. The game is tied again. Terry Harper with his 8th home run of the year with 2 out in the bottom of the 13th inning.
That shot left me spellbound. Dazed and dizzy. There's one end of it, and the other end's across the field, just like the Braves were in the top of the 13th. A fork ball down and in. Will it be fair? It hits the screen in left field.
Ken Oberkfell takes ball 1 and rips one foul. It's 1-1. What a turnaround in both the top and bottom halves of this 13th inning.
Both with home runs, both coming with 2 outs.
Popped up. Carter could have a play. As he comes back, he does. And the inning is over. However, a 2-run, 2-out home run by Terry Harper answers Howard Johnson's 2-out, 2-run home run. And we are still tied at 2:04 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll go to the 14th, 10-10.
Gene Garber becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitcher. Six pitchers for the Braves and 6 for New York. Dykstra will lead it off. We go to the 14th. Here's John.
An absolutely amazing, wacky game. Gene Garber comes on. You got to look at my scorecard. Dykstra ran up the bunt and then fell down in a faint and is laughing about it. Dykstra 3 for 7. He had come into the game, had been up only 33 times, been up 7 times tonight. We're in the top of the 14th. The ball game is tied at 10. There have been 20 runs, 35 hits, 2 errors, 12 pitchers, and a partridge in a pear tree. I think that's ball 2. Scoreboard still has ball 1. That should be ball 2, 2-0. Let's see. Dykstra trying to get on any way he can, and it is 3-0. It'll be Dykstra, Backman, and Hernandez here in the top of the 14th. The ball game is tied at 10. This has had more ups and downs than one of those soap operas on television. There's a strike, 3-1. Also, it's 8 minutes after 2 Eastern Time. This ball game was due to begin at 7:40. There have been a couple of rain delays. Garber slipped out there, so we'll do the 3-1 again. And Dykstra gets a walk, and he can run, too. He's got good speed. A 2-run home run by Howard Johnson in the top of the 13th gave the Mets a 10-8 lead. A base hit by Ramirez, but then Gorman struck out Murphy and Perry and had 2 strikes on Terry Harper, and he hit the screen in left field for a 2-run home run to tie. Here's Backman. We'll see how the Mets play it. Backman looking down at his third base coach, Bud Harrelson. Now he can really handle the bat, and Obergefell is closing in, and Backman can really slap the ball by you. Let's see. He fakes the bunt and takes ball one. The Braves would like Obergefell to be able to field the bunt to nab Dykstra at second base, but if he plays there, they're going to take that bunt sign off. Backman can really handle the bat. And Backman bunts it foul, 1-1. Now Harrelson looks in the dugout to get the sign from Davy Johnson. And Backman looks down at Harrelson. The Braves have one non-starter left, Rick Camp. And the Mets have one non-starter left, and that's Wes Gardner. Both teams have used 6 pitchers. And the thing is, these two teams play every day till the All-Star break. There's the bunt and a good one. That rolls dead, and Benedict's only play is to Zavilla. So Dykstra at second base, and now they're going to call, I think they're going to call Backman out and the ball dead. The ball might have hit the bat twice. They order Dykstra back. It's a foul ball. That's what it is. I think that hit twice. And the guy who made the call was the third base umpire, Lanny Harris. Ernie?
It might have hit his foot, too. It might have hit his foot in the batter's box. That automatically makes it foul. Look again. He hit it twice. You're right. Hit it twice in the batter's box.
That's just what I figured. And the ball just dropped dead twice. So now Backman will not be bunting with a count of 1-2, I don't think. Dykstra scrambles back. Obergefell is playing way in, and this is a guy who, that's the kind of the way Backman hits. He kind of slashes past the third baseman. Will fake a bunt like other little lefty hitters. You see where Obi is right now. It'll be a 1-2. He bunts it again. Garber has to go to first, so the sacrifice works. Sacrifice goes 1-3. Dykstra at second base. And so they had Backman finally bunt on the third strike, and he bunted successfully. He's a good bunter. Now you have to walk Hernandez. Eddie Haas comes out, but he may talk it over with Gino, but you really have to walk Hernandez here, because the guy up after Hernandez doesn't exactly have a broken arm, Gary Carter, but you really have to go to the right-hand hitter and hope to get the double play. I would think, but I don't know. Let's see what Eddie and Gino decide.
Sometimes when you go out there, the pitcher has a lot of confidence in getting one particular hitter out. It doesn't make a difference if he hits lefty, righty on top of his head. And the manager will say, how do you feel about this guy? Do you have any success? Do you want to pitch to him? And many times the pitcher can say, talk the manager into it. We'll see what happens here, but you'd think he'd get walked, and I think that's what they're going.
Well, let me tell you this. Hernandez is lifetime hitting .348 against Garber, and Gary Carter, lifetime .194. I know what I would do, and this is what I would do. So, there's an intentional walk. The second walk of the inning from Gino. Let's see now. 4. 5. 6. The Mets have had 8 walks tonight and 21 hits. They've had 29 base runners. Your basic 2 an inning. Now here's Gary Carter with 1 out. Dykstra at second, Hernandez at first. Braves deployed in double play position. We're in the top of the 14th, tied at 10. And absolutely the wackiest game of the year. Carter's had a big night. He's had 3 hits and a walk. Last time up, he hit into the DP. That's the time when Perry made that nice scoop at first base on a low throw. Oberkfell makes a heck of a play. There's one no throw. Oberkfell has saved the game at this point. Carter hit it like a bullet, and Obi made a backhanded grab on a very bad hop.
This ball is really shellacked, as they say. And Oberkfell on a nice play. Got the force at second base, first and third for Strawberry.
Well, Lenny Dykstra's at third base now. And Carter's at first. This infield chewed up with all the rain and then the sand to fill in the wet spots. That ball took some hop. And Obi stayed with it. Made a nice play. All right, here's Strawberry, 2 outs, and the game on the line. And a strike. Strawberry tonight has 3 hits and 2 walks. You know, we didn't mention about Hernandez for people who just tuned in, why they would just tune in at 2:15 in the morning. But Hernandez had hit for the cycle before that intentional walk. I know, Ernie. I thought the Mets were having hitting problems.
You wouldn't know it.
Not tonight.
21 safeties.
1-1. Looking ahead in the bottom of the 14th, the Braves will have Benedict, Garber, and Zuvella. So it behooves Gino to retire Strawberry. First and third, 2 outs. Nice save by Benedict.
Well, that was close. It was a curveball, and it not only almost got by, almost hit Strawberry. Benedict made a good save.
I want to say this. You know who's on deck for the Mets? It's Tom Gorman. The Braves lost a game this year, that 18-inning game to the Giants. When they didn't walk Bob Brenly, that would have loaded the bases. So we'll see how they pitch against Strawberry. Fouled off. 2-2. You got to give Gino a chance to get him. One pitch will do it. But you don't want to give him a good pitch because the Mets have the pitcher on deck. Now, they could bring up a pinch hitter with the bases loaded, but
they could bring up Rusty Staub.
Yes, they could. And that's a consideration. The Mets have no one warming up. When Brenly got that game-winning base hit in the 18th, the Giants had no one on their bench, as I recall. In fact, I know they had no one on their bench. First and third, 2 outs, top of the 14th. Struck him out. The Thing. Gino's change called the Thing, struck him out. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left. At the end of 13 and a half, the Braves 10 and the Mets 10. Okay, we go to the bottom half of the 14th inning. You see the line score. I don't think exactly I can recap this game, but the Braves had a big 4-run 8th to take an 8-7 lead. Bruce Sutter could not hold it. The Mets got 3 hits in the 9th to tie it. Took a 2-run lead in the 13th on Howard Johnson's home run, and Terry Harper tied it with a home run in the bottom of the 13th, and here we are in the bottom of the 14th. Bruce Benedict takes pitch down low from Tom Gorman. Bruce been up once and bounced into a DP. It's count 1-1. 45,000 people paid tonight. This place was jammed. There is something less than 45 right now. Gary Carter makes the call, and the catch, 1 away. Now here's Gene Garber batting for the first time. I would say a crowd maybe 10,000 or so. Ernie, what would you say this crowd is now?
10.
About 10?
I think there's probably 10,000 here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're scattered.
I bet. That's corked to center field, but Dykstra will make the catch. 2-8.
Now there's 8.
Good for you. If any of them come back, tell them to bring a bologna sandwich or something, will you? 2-8, and here's Paul Zubella, who came in the game in the 6th inning, or roughly about a week ago. It's 2:21 here in the East. There's a strike to Zoo. One and one. You know, there's a phrase when you do ball games of all kinds to try to bring your audience up to date. You always say, for those who tuned in late, those late tuners in, that kind of thing. If you just tuned in, it's late. 2 outs. There's a great grab by Ray Knight to stop a base hit off the bat of Zubella. Now the Braves were retired 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 14th. And we'll watch that pretty catch by Ray Knight as we get on out. At the end of 14, the Mets 10 and the Braves 10. We go to the top of the 15th inning. Ball game is tied at 10, and to tell you all about it, here's Ernie.
Gorman, the pitcher, will lead it off. And Garber's first pitch is hit foul up by third. Knight will follow. Day. 0-1. The outfield straightaway. Put that ball into left center. Somebody should catch it. Harper, he's got it. Gorman flies to left. He came in batting 0-4-3. Now Ray Knight hit a base hit last time up, then he scored in front of Howard Johnson's homer to put the Mets out in front by 2. That happened in the 13th. Then Harper's home run in the bottom of the 13th made it 10-10. It came with 2 outs and 2 strikes. The 0-1. Low and away. Garber working his second inning. One ball, 1 strike. Well hit. Past Ramirez. Should be a base hit. Knight made a big turn and gets back. Hit that ball hard. Ramirez lunging to his left. Couldn't come up with it.
But talk about great fans. You just came in the booth. The head coach of the Atlanta Hawks, Mike Fratello, and the assistant coach, Brendan Sir, and their buddy, John Winnan. And they're going to stick to the bitter end.
Here's Johnson. He didn't start the ball game. Johnson has 2 hits and 3 tries. A homer and a single, both in important spots. Curveball in there. Heap is on deck. A runner at first, 1 down. Knight is chased back. Got back again. Oakland beat Toronto last night. And the pitch foul. Some of the fireworks are going on. Some just couldn't wait, I guess. 1 ball, 1 strike. "36 hits in the ball game, 22 by New York. Each team guilty of an error. We're in the top of the 15th. Let up and a beauty. 1 and 2. Make it 1 and 3. Scoreboard was wrong. So was I. He got him on the changeup. Now Danny Heap. 2 outs, a runner first. Heap is 1 for 3. Knight at first with a pretty big lead, but he doesn't run that often. And the pitch bounced toward second. Zavella should handle it. The little flip to Ramirez. And we've sailed through the top of the 15th. We go to the bottom half. 10-10. Bottom half of the 15th inning. He was clean shaven when the game started. Which was some time ago.
Yes, it was.
Washington, lefty against lefty. Curveball just outside. Washington with 3 hits tonight, including a triple back in the first inning. Now the Braves fans get with it. A little staccato clapping. 1-0. D. Right. Ramirez is on deck. Then Murphy. Gorman pitches. Look out. That one slipped. Tom Gorman. I don't believe any relation to Tom Gorman, the former pitcher and umpire. Great after-dinner speaker. Now a supervisor of umps. 2-1. Outside, 3-1. Here's the 3-1 on the way. Fly ball short left. Keep 1 down. One down for Ramirez. Raffy with 2 hits. Last 2 times up, he has hit safely. He enabled a game to be tied because if he's not aboard, Harper's home run puts the Braves 1 run short. That happened in the 13th. Murphy on deck. And the pitch. Strike call. Gorman came on in the 13th. Here's the 0-1. Hit foul. 0-2. John Sterling and Ernie Johnson with you from Atlanta. 3 more games with the Mets. Friday night, which is tonight.
And they're being played in just 1 day.
Yes. Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Saturday afternoon will not be on Braves TV. The 0-2 popped him up. Hernandez calling for it. 2 down. Now listen to the fans as Murphy comes to the plate. They only have one thought in mind. Is "Send Me Home, Dale Murphy." A song something like that. He knocked in 3 runs back in the 8th. That was his only hit of the night. He's walked 1. He doubled in 3. That put Atlanta on top by a run. He had no luck against that Scroogey. That's what he's throwing. Last time up, he was fanned. 1-0. And the 1-0. Strike call, says Terry Pater. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had trouble with Gorman, as you read that stat. He doesn't want that particular pitch from Gary Carter. He wants that one, and it was a Scroogey, and it's a pop-up. Backman fights it and catches it foul for out number 3. Folks, we've gone through 15. Thanks for being with us on Braves Baseball. It's 10-10. Inning number 16. Here's John.
Here's Len Dykstra, who's been up, I think, 75 times tonight. He's crouching lower and lower and takes a strike. Three for 7 and a walk. That's a nice short hop pickup by Zavella. 1 away. We're in the top of the 16th. The ball game is tied at 10.
This is a good play by Zavella, going to his left. Kind of a long hop, the kind that are most difficult. It wouldn't get through, and that's 1 down.
There's Zoo. Braves Stanford graduate. And a resident stretch artist. Time was called. That pitch will not count. There have been 20 runs, 36 hits, 2 errors, and 12 pitchers.
About time to pass out patches, you know. I was there on July 4th.
And sandwiches, too. 0-2 on Backman.
I was there on July 4th and 5th.
That's right.
We had some friends come down from Manchester, Connecticut. Harold and Marie Turkington. They said, oh, we'll stay. They're still over there.
Want to see a ball game? Gino makes this play. 2-away. Two outs now. Keith Hernandez, who has already hit for the cycle tonight. Single, double, triple, and home run. And a walk.
Our guests are staying. I think Lois is asleep, though. No, she came over and said, I'm hanging in there tough. 20-3.
This game was to have begun at 20 minutes to 8. Then there was rain. Then they played. Then there was rain. And they have played. I tell you, a guy's going to sleep well tonight. The guys on the on-deck circle, Gary Carter, who has caught the whole ball game.
I admire these people. We've still got a lot of people here watching this ball game.
Yep.
And it's not Friday night. This is Thursday, and a lot of them probably got to work tomorrow. They might not be too good at it, but they're going out there tomorrow. Still okay. And hats off to the crew, too.
Yeah.
We're approaching a doubleheader.
It's 2-2. Gino has been terrific since coming in. Maslow just 1 hit. By the way, take back what I said about Wes Gardner. The Mets have only starting pitchers left. Gardner has been sent back to Tidewater. Braves have 1 non-starter left, Rick Camp. That should end the inning. Zuvella tosses him out. Nothing across for the Mets. We go to the bottom of the 16th, and the score tied at 10. Believe it or not, when this game is over, and the scoreboard show and the fireworks show, the Superstation will show that, Jacques Cousteau, the first 75 years after this game. This game has gone 74 years.
He's 76 now.
And I feel 76, so everything is right. If you think we're punchy, you're right. We go to the bottom of the 16th. Game is tied at 10 in the world's longest game. Not by innings, but Gerald Perry leads off against Tom Gorman. Perry, then the hero of the hour, Terry Harper, and Ken Oberkfell. There's so many amusing stories that will be told after tonight's game, no matter what happens, no matter when it ends, even if it ends on this pitch, which it doesn't. Oh, and 2 on Gerald. For example, one of the writers who covers the Braves regularly for the Journal-Constitution, Chris Mortensen, has his daughter Shannon visiting him from California. She's about 14, I guess. And I don't think she's ever expected to see this much baseball in her life. And the coach of the Hawks, Mike Fratello, came up and said, "You can't believe this. I have my parents here. They're down from New Jersey. And they're still here."
I was just thinking about they haven't had a wave for a while, and even though there's not too many, they're waving.
These fans are fabulous. Now, what do you think? These fans are absolutely fabulous. As the wave ripples around the stadium at 2:45 in the morning.
I wish there's some way we could give them a rain check.
Yeah.
Another game.
Gerald Perry leading off the 16th has an 0-2 count. Danny Heap in left field makes the catch, one away. In the bottom of the 13th, Terry Harper came up with Ramirez on first base. Gorman had struck out Murphy and Perry, and Harper had a 1-2 count. And he hit the left field screen for a 2-run home run, his 8th of the year. Terry Harper has 4 hits tonight. And he takes a strike. It's a 10-10 ball game in the bottom of the 16th. Count 1-1 on Terry. One and two. You know, Ernie, one thing about Terry Harper getting a chance to play regularly for the first time, we're a few games away from the half-year point. You know, he has pretty good figures.
Yes, sir.
If he winds up with 15 homers and 75 RBIs, it's not bad. He has 8 homers, 35 RBIs now. That one will be caught by the shortstop, Howard Johnson. 2-way.
Pretty good frisbee thrower, Keith Hernandez.
The frisbee throw comes after the fireworks display later tonight. Two-way here is Obi. And there's a base hit. Winning run at first base, 2 outs for Bruce Benedict. Oberkfell tonight has walked, doubled, grounded out, singled, grounded out, intentionally walked, popped up, and singled, so he has 3 hits. 3 hits and 2 walks. Now the Braves get their bullpen started because the on-deck hitter is Gene Garber. Rick Camp gets up to throw. You know, in the first inning, Rick Mailer had all kinds of trouble, and Rick Camp got up to throw then. A long time ago. 2-0 on Benedict. The Braves have Garber on deck. Atlanta has one more non-pitcher left, and that's Paul Runge. And if Benedict should get on, let's say they're first and second and 2 out, the Braves would probably take a shot to win it. A strike is called. 2-1. And the count goes to 3-1 on Benedict. Oberkfell has just fair speed at first base. And the Braves have the winning run at second base. Now the Braves will send up their last non-pitcher, Paul Runge. And one shot to win the game. Now Runge pinch hits for Garber. If there is a 17th, Rick Camp would pitch for the Braves. Runge has only been up 16 times. He has 2 hits. And if he gets a base hit here to win the game, he'll never forget it as long as he lives. And neither will I. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Breaking ball strike from Gorman to Runge. Mets have 22 hits. The Braves have 15 hits. And the count evens 1-1. Good cut, fouled away, 1-2. The only pitchers the Mets have left are starting pitchers. They go in a 5-man rotation, where the Braves have been using a 4-man rotation. So looks like it's up to Tom Gorman. The 1-2. 2-2. Braves have Ken Oberkfell at second base. Bruce Benedict's at first. Benedict does not matter at all. If Obi scores, the game's over. To deep left. Heat goes back. Back on the track. Heat makes the catch. And we go to the 17th. Runge gave it a ride. But Heat tied up with it on the track about 3 feet shy of the wall. No runs on a hit. The Braves lead 2. And at the end of 16 innings of play, we're all tied at 10.
Are bringing in Rick Camp, their final available pitcher, as we start the 17th inning. Also, Runge stays in the game and plays third base, giving Ken Oberkfell an opportunity to sit down for a minute anyway.
And making it possible for Camp to work at least 3 innings before they have to worry about a pinch hitter.
Right.
Camp has it.
Let's hope not.
want to look at the pessimistic side. Camp 2 and 3 on the year with no saves. 7th pitcher used by the Atlanta manager.
Thank you, John.
Camp with a 3.09 ERA. And this is his 28th appearance.
3 shutout innings.
And his first batter, Gary Carter, and the first pitch, strike 1. And now for the play-by-play, Steve Zabriskie.
Who doesn't need an introduction to the 17th inning. Carter pops it into foul territory. It's heading for the picnic area and just out of play.
What do you mean you don't need an introduction? We got a whole new audience coming in.
All those early risers.
Shift, yeah.
Those early risers, too. So the count, 2 strikes on Carter. Gary with 3 hits tonight. In 7 official at-bats. He also walked yesterday in the 3rd inning. And Carter wants home plate umpire Terry Tata to check out the ball. Tata leaves it in play. Carter leading off the 17th, the 10-10 tie. Strawberry and Gorman are scheduled to follow.
And here's an 0-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Oh, we just got a message that the 2 Cavs we told to wait to be here in the 9th inning are still here, and the bill has now gone up to $890.
Carter with a base hit to center field. It's a good thing I got my American Express card with me. We're not getting to the hotel. The rally hats as Ron Reynolds goes to the Clint Hurdle and John Christensen and Howard Johnson all got their hats inside out. It's rally hat time, and number 13, the leader of that pack right there. Bill Webb says on those cabs, be sure to get receipts. Strawberry takes the ball outside. The Mets with a go-ahead run on here in the 17th, nobody out. Darrell's had 3 hits tonight, an RBI and a stolen base. 2 balls, no strikes. Strawberry 3 for 6, plus a couple of walks.
2 balls, no strikes.
Out of play, and it's 2-1.
One of the strange parts of this ball game, when Strawberry was up on the 14th in the tie game, they pitched to him with the pitcher, Tom Gorman, due up next.
And a base open.
And no chance to take the pitcher out of the ball game. And Strawberry struck out to oblige Ed Haas, the manager of the Atlanta Braves.
And Darrell swings it one up and away, and it's 2-2. It was the wrong move, but it turned out right. Darrell now hitting .222. He has 6 home runs and now 14 RBIs. Too low, and it's 3-2. Carter has led off the 17th with a single. There is nobody out. Strawberry can't believe it, and neither can I. Darrell's 6'6", and his knees are a long way off the ground. Tata doesn't like him arguing, and he's out of the game.
How about Tata? He just followed Strawberry. You talk about baiting a ball player. He walked right with him. Strawberry was going back to the bench.
And I'm sure that's part of what Davey's complaining about, and he's out of the game too. And he's really going to get his 2 cents in now. I hate to see that when an umpire follows a ball player. We'll take a look at the pitch again. I thought this was low and away. Ball 4.
Well, here it is on the replay. Certainly ball 4, no doubt about it. Tata punches him out. Strawberry has something to say about it. And then as he was walking away, Tata followed him right with him to argue with him.
Davey's really letting him have it now. 1 out. Garber still at first base. And now Terry Tata waiting for Davey to leave, as he has been ejected from the game, but he's not leaving without a few parting shots. And Tom Gorman is the hitter. Gorman flied to short left field his first time up. In a bunting situation, he takes for ball one. Tom has no batting average yet this year. Missed that one, and it's 1-1. So Strawberry is out of the ball game. So is manager Davey Johnson. Fouled off. Caught a piece of Bruce Benedict on the way by, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Mets have had a problem getting their pitchers to get the bunt down and get the runner over.
1-2.
And he fouls the third strike, and he's out of there. So Camp with 2 strikeouts here in the inning. Carter still at first base now with 2 out. And the batter Ray Knight. Ray has had 2 singles his last 2 times up. Prior to that, he was 0 for 6, so he's 2 for 8. We're in the top of the 17th, tied at 10. Foul back. Well, I can hardly wait for those fireworks, huh? 3 a.m. Eastern Time. You lucky folks on the West Coast, it's only midnight.
Ray Knight's the batter. He has pitched safely his last 2 times.
Off speed is high. 1-1 to Ray Knight.
Runner at first and 2 down.
Sharply hit into the hole. Ramirez picks it, goes to second, and gets the out there. So the force play ends the inning. A hit and 1 left here in the 17th for the Mets. We'll go to the bottom of the 17th, tied 10-10.
Mr. Christensen is now playing right field. That's John Christensen, taking over for Darryl Strawberry, who was ejected for disputing a called strike. We're going to the bottom half of inning number 17. Gorman with a couple of more tosses wants to get loose. Here comes Zavella. Thomas Gorman has pitched very well. He came on in the 13th inning. We're now playing in the 17th. He allowed 2 runs on that 2-run home run by Harper, but since then the Braves haven't done anything against him. Zavella leads it off. He's looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 5. He didn't start the game. And the pitch to him, a little bit high, 1-0. Washington on deck, then Rafael Ramirez. And the 1-0. The right call, says Terry Tata. Washington goes back to the dugout. The Braves now have their hats on inside out, down in their dugout. It's gotten everybody. The 1-1. Popped him up. Out behind second is Backman, and he's got it. Maybe we can get a shot of the Braves, too. There they are. Here's Bedrock. Anything to help. Here's Claudel. Washington has had 3 hits tonight. This is 9th time to the plate. And a pitch. Popped him up, right up the elevator shaft. Knight. The ball was foul. First 2 have gone quietly. Washington fouling to Ray Knight. Now Rafael Ramirez. Ramirez has 2 RBIs tonight. Grounded out in the first to score a run. He walked with the bases loaded in the 8th. He's had 2 hits. Murphy on deck in the pitch. D right call. Terry Tata still sounding off. The outfield straight away. Knight hanging around third base bag. And the pitch. A little bit high. Don't forget, immediately following this game, we're going to have the fireworks display. And we'll give you a rundown on all the other scores, all the particulars. 1-1. There's that screwball, 1-2. Breaks away from right-handed batters. If you've got one that goes away and down, you can imagine how hard that is to hit. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're going to take a different angle at it. There's a base hit to left. Ramirez keeps it alive. He got Murphy up, and he almost got to second base. The ball gets away, but not far enough. Murphy. He's had no luck against Gorman. He's struck out and fouled out. Perry would be next. Two away. Ramirez off first. And Murphy waiting. And the pitch to him. Swung on, hit high into the air in right center field, but it should be caught. Christensen one-hands it. For out number 3. We're still moving along. We go to the 8th inning. Make it 18. And it's 10-10.
The Braves failed to score in the bottom of the 17th, so we go to the top of the 18th, still tied at 10.
Johnson, the leadoff for the Mets here in the 18th inning. Johnson's home run in the 13th with a man on put the Mets up 10-8, but then Atlanta came back in the bottom of the 13th on a 2-run home run by Terry Harper to tie it up at 10. Johnson came in the game in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter and single. There's a single into center field, and the Mets have a runner on with no one out here in the 18th. Johnson now, since he came in the ball game, with 3 hits and 5 times up. That'll bring up Danny Heat. Danny, a pinch hitter in the 9th inning, singled. Mets got the game tied up in the 9th inning after they were trailing 8-7. A single by Johnson, a single by Heap, and a single by Dykstra. That's entered into extra innings. And Heap in a bunting situation bunts it too hard. Camp goes into second, throws it away. Johnson on his way to third, and the Mets have runners at first and third on the throwing error by Rick Camp, and things are looking better for the Mets.
Boy, Howard Johnson just does a great job not only of hustling down to second and sliding in hard, but of popping back up. He would have been out had Camp made a good throw, because the ball was bunted too hard by Heat, but it short hops Ramirez, and look at Hojo just pop right back up and get to third in a hurry.
So an error charged on the play.
Error on the play.
batter for the Mets will be Len Dykstra, whose single, an infield single, tied up the game in the 9th inning. Infield is in, and the first pitch, ball 1. Dykstra in this ball game has had 3 hits. Batting for the 9th time officially. 1-0 pitch, and the runner going with the pitch, but the ball hit foul. So Heap will have to go back to first base, and the count will be 1 ball and 1 strike on Len Dykstra.
40 hits, 3 errors. Atlanta has no. Excuse me, Ralph.
I was going to say, this is Dykstra's 10th time to the plate.
That's almost as many at-bats as he had in his first trip with the big club after the first call-up from Tidewater. Atlanta having no choice but to play the infield in all the way around, and boy, does that help the hitter.
Runner goes again, and this one hit out to deep enough center field to score a run. Murphy back, but he'll have no play at the plate. Johnson tags up and scores, and the Mets lead by a score of 11-10 here in the top of the 18th inning. Run batted in for Dykstra on the sacrifice fly. His second in the ball game, and now with a runner at first and 1 out, the batter will be Wally Backman. Raleigh with 3 hits in the game. Rusty Staub looking on. He's a senior member of this ball club. And that ball gets away from Benedict, but the runner holds it first.
Bottom of the 17th, Rays will have Gerald Perry. 18, excuse me. Gerald Perry.
1 strike to count to Wally Backman, and now the fastball outside. Camp came in this game in the 17th inning, gave up a base hit. But here in the 18th, he has given up a run, set up by his throwing error, throwing the ball away at second base. Heap the runner at first. And it's bounced back to the pitcher. They'll try for 2. There's 1. They get it, but they don't get the runner at first base. So Backman with his speed stays out of the double play, and that'll bring up Keith Hernandez.
Well, Jay Horwitz informs me now that this game is now the longest game in time this year in the National League. The Mets had the previous longest game at 5 hours 21 minutes back on April 28th, an 18-inning game at home against the Pirates. And right now we're about 5.5 hours old since the official starting time.
And Hernandez pops up the first pitch. Fly ball to shallow right center field. Claudell Washington and Murphy are there. Murphy makes the call and catch, and that ends the inning. But the Mets score 1 run on 1 hit. There was 1 big error and 1 man left on base. And the score at the end of 17.5 innings, the Mets 11 and Atlanta 10.
And now back to 10 amazing games on MSG Network.
Bottom of the 18th inning, the Atlanta Braves coming up. The Mets leading by a score of 11-10, and for Atlanta, it will be Gerald Perry, Terry Harper, and Ken Oberkfell. Mets were within 1 strike of winning the ball game in the 13th, but then Harper had a 2-run home run to tie it.
Incidentally, Ralph, that single by Howard Johnson in the 18th inning that eventually led to that go-ahead run was the 24th hit for the Mets, and that is a new team high all-time record.
Their old record of 23 was set in 1964. The Mets against the Cubs when the Mets won the ball game 19-1, and Jack Fisher was the winning pitcher. You looked at Eddie Haas, the manager of Atlanta, and the first pitch to Perry, a called strike. Perry is 0 for 3 since coming in the game. Ground ball that is picked up by Tom Gorman. Good play there, and they pick up the out. Not a very good throw to first base. So now Terry Harper, the batter, the man that tied the game with a 2-out home run in the 13th at 10. Harper also has popped up against Gorman, so he is 1 for 2.
John Gerald and
home run hit the foul pole. And a swing and a miss. Came on an 0-2 pitch. His 8th home run of the year. And it came with 2 men out. And this one popped up in foul territory. Harder back, but not much room here in this ballpark, so it goes out of play.
Well, I don't know if that's if he's blowing charge or taps.
Could be blowing taps. Maybe reveille.
Reveille, that's right. It's getting close to that time.
Two strikes to count to Terry Harper. The Mets once played a long extra inning game out in Los Angeles, and it was over back in New York at something like 5:30 in the morning. The latest any game ever finished in the hometown of a ball club. Mel Stoudemire acting as manager for the New York Mets. Davey Johnson ejected when Strawberry was thrown out protesting a called strike. 2 strikes to count, and this was the count that Harper had the home run. And that one not in the strike zone. The count 1-2. Pitch. Rounded out to Keith Hernandez at first base, and he takes it himself. So now the Mets are not away from ending this long ball game, and the batter coming up is Ken Oberkfell. And it won't be Oberkfell. It'll be Rick Camp, the pitcher. And that's the way it stands for Atlanta. They are out of substitutions. Put in the 6th batting position when Runge was a pinch hitter for the pitcher. And the fastball fouled back. Camp has been up 5 times this year without a base hit.
Rick Camp's lifetime average, 0.62. He has no career home runs, only 10 career base hits.
And strike 2, and again, Tom Gorman is a strike away from ending the ball game. Back in the 13th, he served up a 2-run home run that tied the game. And this ball hit out to deep left field. It could be extra bases, could be gone. It is gone, goodbye. And the ball game is tied. How about that? This is unbelievable.
Thought they were going to see some fireworks tonight, and they have just seen Rick Camp's first Major League home run retie the ball game. Right there. Hit the back fence. Danny Heath can't believe it, nor can anybody else, but the Atlanta fans are flying high.
And now the count to Benedict, 2 balls and no strikes, and that makes it 3-0. Two disastrous, 2 strikes, 2 out home runs off Tom Gorman. Both of them coming to tie up a ball game. In extra innings and a strike call, it's 3-1. Ground ball foul. Count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Every time that you had a feeling that it just couldn't go on any longer, it has.
And it's ball 4, and the winning run is on. Well, the Mets relief pitching in this ball game outside of Terry Leach has been horrendous. Given up by Met pitchers, and it brings up ground ball hit down the night. He goes to second for the force play, and we go to the 19th. Well, here we go again, the top of the 19th. Twice this game has been tied in the bottom half of an inning in extra innings, and coming back in for the play-by-play. Another fellow who can't believe it, Tim McCarver.
Well, I'll tell you, on the scoreboard was the message. As we see Tom Gorman, the message was, more than any other thing, baseball has the illusion that it can be simply understood. And I've never seen a ball game that best illustrates that strange axiom created by Thomas Boswell, the brilliant writer from the Washington Post, than this game. Gary Carter, the batter, 19th inning. No game has ever ended later than this game has ended. Back in 1975, the Phillies beat the Expos 6-1 in rain-delayed contest that ended at 3:23. Carter, base hit up the middle. So Gary Carter comes through. Again, that for Carter is his 5th hit of the game. He is now 5 for 9 on the game. Gary Carter with a base hit. So he's on first base. How in the world can a guy catch 18 innings and lead off the 19th with a base hit? I mean, that, at least the Braves have had 2 catchers tonight. Man. John Christensen in there. He entered when Strawberry was ejected a couple innings ago. And a bunt and a beauty. Benedict to first. Carter to second. Sacrifice successful. Now the batter is Tom Gorman. And he is being...
How can he be? They don't have a pitcher.
Pushed back. The only pitcher I can think of would be Ron Darling, who is starting Sunday's ball game.
And he is just running down to the bullpen now. He has not been throwing. And we're going to see Rusty Staub as a pinch hitter. And there won't be a whole lot of time for Darling to get warm.
Well, there won't be a whole lot to do with Rusty Staub either, for Rusty Staub will probably be intentionally passed. Can you imagine the Mets playing 18 innings without using Rusty Staub?
I can't imagine anything about this game.
Your imagination is dead at this particular time. Darling is the starting pitcher on Sunday. Rusty Staub employed as the pinch hitter against Rick Camp. He is 1 hit shy, for all of you trivia buffs out there, of Billy Williams, 2,711 hits. That would time for 36th place. Now jot that down.
Don't forget it.
But Rusty's not going to have a chance, I wouldn't imagine. They'll probably walk Staub and pitch to Ray Knight, and they will. So Staub will be intentionally passed. I'll tell you, Ralph, I don't have the adjectives descriptive enough to describe this game.
If they made a movie out of this game, nobody would believe it.
Nobody'd go to it either.
That's right.
They'd all be at the ballpark. I think this is one of the few games that I have seen where the crowd has grown as the extra innings have persisted. I think there are more people now than there were here at the 13th. I've counted them.
They're coming in.
Yeah. They think it's tomorrow night's game or tonight's game. Ray Knight is the batter this morning.
And when Ray first batted, his name was Ray Day, and now it's Ray Knight.
Ball hit well to right center. Washington over. Can't get to it. Carter's going to score. Staub is into third base. Mets lead it 12-11. The 26th hit of the game for the Mets.
Well, Rusty Staub unable to score on that long drive because they had no one to pinch run. Ray Knight is more or less off the hook now. He had left 10 men on base. 3 times he batted with the bases loaded and did not get a runner in. But right here he drives in what is a go-ahead run at this point in the ball game. So Ray Knight picking up 3 hits in his last 4 at-bats and putting the Mets on top once again. They lead by a score of 12-11.
And Howard Johnson will be walked intentionally. Yeah. So Johnson walked intentionally. Got to analyze this game through segments. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the batter's going to be Danny Heap.
Ninth and second, Staub at third.
26 hits, the most ever by Mets ball club.
Danny Heap.
Only 1 out. I say no outs. That's excusable, isn't it? Anything is excusable now. Infield and double play depth. Fastball is up and away to Heap. Danny 1 for 5, and he entered the game in the 9th inning.
3 on and 1 out. Raise a double play, Jeff.
We have been on the air for 8 hours.
And the 1-1.
Fastball and a beauty. 1 and 2 to Danny Heap. Bases loaded. 1 out. 12-11 Mets. You are not watching a rerun. I repeat.
This
you
is
are
live.
Not. This is live. 2 and 2. Of course, being 1/3 of a day. So we put our 8 hours in today, right? It's your normal 8 to 5 job. Line base hit. Staub scores. Knight's going to try to score. The throw. Save. Now here comes Johnson. Save. Mets lead by 4. 15-11. You got to love it. 2 RBIs for Danny Heap. He stands at second, and he just cleared the bases. And who's the first one up out of the dugout to greet him? Gary Carter.
There it is again in the replay. Line shot in the right field. Staub scores easily. The throw by Claudel gets away from the catcher, Benedict, as Knight tries to come in, and he kicks the ball away as he gets by the catcher, Benedict. And that will allow the next runner to score. And
That was Howard Johnson,
Howard
right?
Johnson, and at second base is Danny Heek.
2 RBIs. Interestingly, there have only been 4 errors in this ball game. Only 1 by the Mets. And Dykstra rips it to left center. Heap tagging, and he'll go to third easily. The Mets have scored 4 runs in the top of the 19th. As if to say, now Braves, let's see you match that.
Top of the 19th.
They scored 2 in the top of the 13th on a 2-run homer by Howard Johnson. Dramatically, Terry Harper came back in the bottom of the 13th and hit a 2-run homer with 2 out and Ramirez aboard. In the 18th, the Mets scored a run, and incredibly, with 2 out and nobody on, Rick Camp hit his first Major League home run. The pitcher, no doubt. This game will go to Cooperstown, my friend.
Twice in this game, Atlanta has scored runs to tie the game up with 2 strikes on the batter and 2 men out.
Interestingly, 0-2 each time. Now the Mets score their 5th run here in the top of the 19th. Wally Backman comes through with his 4th base hit of the game.
16-11.
Wally is 4 for 11 in this game.
And Darling, who will be the next pitch in the ball game with a chance to pick up his first save, cannot pick up his first save because the Mets have more than a 3-run lead.
That's right. And Ron Darling coming in from the bullpen now, and Keith Hernandez. A check swing by design. Hernandez has hit for the cycle in this ball game. He has had 5 hits, make that 4 hits. Our cab waiting in front of the
It's now $946.52.
ground ball to second base. Hernandez is out of there. The Mets score 5 runs and a number of hits here in the top of the 19th. And they lead 16-11 after 18 and a half.
You're watching 10 amazing games on MSG Network.
Well, the new pitcher for the New York Mets, and he is new. He's not only new in this game, he's new in this spot. Ron Darling.
Ron Darling has appeared in a total of 38 games before this season, and he has not had an appearance as a relief pitcher since coming into the major leagues.
First relief appearance ever for Ron Darling. He started 17 times this year, so it took him 55 games to get into a relief appearance. And Ron and the Mets hoping this will be a short inning, because Ron is the starting pitcher on Sunday. Okay, now who will he be facing? Paul Zuvella, Claudel Washington, and Rafael Ramirez. 16-11, and we repeat, half in jest, all in earnest, that this game is not a replay or a rerun. Paul Zuvella, the batter. Toward third. And a fair ball, says Terry Tata. Or did he say fair ball? He's waving him back. He said foul ball. 0-1.
This game is the longest game in time in both the American League and the National League now for this year.
The time, as you know, 3:42 New York time and Atlanta time, Eastern time. Ground ball toward Backman, and he throws out Hernandez. Now catch this, Zuvella entered the game in the 6th, and he is now 0 for 7. 1 out, bottom of the 19th. And And the batter, Claudell Washington.
What a game.
Oh, 1-0. Ground ball, Hernandez can't come up with it. This is going to be at least 2 and maybe 3. But Washington holds at second. Well, our crack statistician and PR man, ever alert and ever present, Jay Horwitz, coming up with the appropriate information.
Now the relay repeat of this as the ball bounces off Hernandez and bounces into foul territory. And Washington ends up at second base. It is being scored as an error.
A rare error at that. It hit Hernandez above the glove, right in the elbow. He's all right. And the batter, Rafael Ramirez. Washington at second. And 1 man out. The Mets looking for 2 outs. They lead by 5.
28 hits made with 17.
Right.
45 into the game and 27 runs.
True value.
Causing a couple of rain delays.
Fastball is tight. 1-1 to Rafael Ramirez. Ramirez has driven in a couple of runs. He's scored 2 runs. And he's had 3 base hits on the evening. Jams in with a fastball. Johnson. Nice play, Howard Johnson. 2 outs. As King Richard would say, my kingdom for an out.
Well, twice now in this game in extra innings, Atlanta has tied it up with 2 men out. But they have a little farther to go here, as the Mets have a 5-run lead this time. They had a 2-run lead one time and a 1-run lead the other.
Got a steeper hill to climb, right? Dale Murphy, the batter. Murphy's had only 1 hit, but he's been responsible for this whole mess.
Murphy put Atlanta in front by a score of 9-8 with a 3-run double back in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Fastball and a good one. 0-1 to Murphy.
Mets tied it up in the 9th, then took the lead by 2 in the 13th. Atlanta tied it up in the bottom half of the 13th, and then the Mets got 5 runs in the top of the 19th.
And 1-1 to Dale Murphy. Well, as Steve Zabriskie said earlier, Rusty Staub tried to get grits last night at the hotel. And the gentleman said that they would be in at 3:30. Well, they'd been at the hotel for 16 minutes as we talked. So luckily, Ralph will be able to have breakfast and a big bowl of grits for you when we get back.
Just what I'm looking forward to.
2-1 to Murphy.
Nothing like a bowl of grits after a 19-inning game.
Oh, me. Two and one to Dale Murphy. The Mets 5 runs up in the 19th, 2-2 to Murphy. The Mets 1 strike away from victory, but they've done that in the 13th and in the 18th. They have been 1 strike away from victory. You love a cassette of this game?
14 pitchers used in this game.
Ground ball, foul.
Perry would be done.
Think of the hitters now, coming up 9, 10 times, 11 times during a game, and now you're facing a starting pitcher in the 19th.
I'm a little surprised that Atlanta didn't go to Bedrosian, who has great relief experience, and he's not due to pitch until Sunday.
Just like Darling.
Just like Darling.
Well, of course, Camp was relatively fresh, I suppose. He'd pitched only 3 innings. We won't go over who pitched the rest of them. Read it in the paper. 3-2 to Dale Murphy. recap this game. You couldn't recap this game. They gave you a day and a half, could you? I know I couldn't.
No. Well, let's see. Yesterday, Dwight Gooden started the ball game. Worked 2 1/3 innings. Left because of a rain delay.
Murphy fouls it away. 3-2 still.
Be like those old cereals that we used to go to years ago.
Yeah, that's right. Double feature on Saturday and a cereal. That was endless.
Chapter 12.
Lash LaRue, Jungle Jim, Flash Gordon.
The stagecoach going over the cliff.
Yep.
Be here next Saturday to see what happened.
Right.
This one all condensed into 2 days. Yesterday and today. To 4. Who are you going to get in the post-game show?
That's Steve Zabrisky's worry. And Ron Darling walks Dale Murphy. So the batter will be Gerald Perry. The interesting thing about this inning is if Perry gets on and Harper gets on, Rick Camp will have another chance for stardom. He is the in-the-hole hitter. He could end up hitting a grand salami to tie it up. Fastball is outside to Gerald Perry. I was only kidding, of course. 1-0 to Perry. Mets lead by 5, 16-11. 1-1. There have been 45 hits in this ball game. And that equals the number of hits in the 23-22 victory the Phillies had over the Cubs in 1979. Two and two to Perry.
Statisticians will have a field day with this one.
Boy, you got that right. Refusing to dive, fouls it back. And Ron Darling wants a new baseball. That might be the most interesting thing in this game.
Well, if you're going to set a record, set one.
Interesting to see Carter go out now and change the signs with a runner on second. Fly ball, left field, and of course a foul ball and out of play. Appropriately, Hernandez at first. Probably thinks he's on the on-deck circle. He doesn't know where he is now.
The wheels have gone.
Just missed. 3-2, and the runners will be off. Is low, and Gerald Perry is on. The second walk issued by Darling, and the bases are loaded, 2 out, and the tying run coming up to the on-deck circle in the person of Rick Camp, the devastating home run hitter who hit his first major league home run to tie it in the bottom of the 18th. Terry Harper, the batter. Fastball is high, 1-0 to Harper. To Terry Harper.
I don't believe what I'm seeing.
No, I don't either, nor have I for the last 8 hours. The dangerous Camp on deck. There's a strike, 2-1 to Terry Harper. You have to be tongue-in-cheek right now. I mean, you can't be serious about this game, right?
Well, this is a happening now. This will go in the record books.
Line drive right field. It may drop and does. 2-run score. Christensen. Ball gets by him, and now it's first and third, and the tying run at the plate in the person of Rick Camp. It's now 16-13. Comically handing the ball to Darling.
Well, here it is again. It drops in front of Christensen. He can't pick it up, but no harm done. Harper holds at first base, and the runner on third base also holds. So 2 runs are in, and as Tim pointed out, on the base hit by Harper, it puts the tying run at the plate in the form of Camp.
You know, I would imagine that this is the first time a pitcher has batted in extra innings 2 times. Ever. 0-1.
Well, not necessarily so, because you go back to pitchers like Wes Farrell and Red Ruffing, who were outstanding hitters.
But they were starting pitchers.
They were starting pitchers. They could have done it, say, in the 10th and 12th inning or something like that.
Okay.
Because they did pitch longer games in those days. And
just a thought. I mean,
it's a good guess.
It doesn't necessarily have to be right at this hour. 0-2 to Camp. Gosh, how many things go through your mind in a game like this? I know with me, it's a melange. 1-2 to Rick Camp.
Those 2 runs that scored will be unearned because of the error.
Swing and a miss. Rick Camp strikes out. And this ball game is over. And you will see on your screen the tired jubilation of the fans who've enjoyed it. They're happy they were here. And in a couple of days after we rest, Mr. Kiner, I'll be happy we were here. The final score, 16-13. The line score, 16, 28, and 2 for the Mets. 13, 18, and 3 for the Braves.
Homeowners, call.
All right, here are your totals. In 19 innings, the New York Mets win it 16-13. 16 runs, 28 hits and 2 errors. The Braves 13 runs, 18 hits, and 3 errors. Tom Gorman, the winner in relief, he's 4-3. Rick Camp, the loser, he is 2-4, and give Ray Knight the game-winning RBI. Home runs, Hernandez hit one in the 8th with nobody on. Johnson hit one in the 13th with 1 aboard. Harper in the 13th with 1 aboard, his 8th. And Rick Camp hit one in the 18th with nobody on, his first Major League home run. And that made the final score 16-13. One of the longest games that we've ever experienced, and we're happy that we had a part of it. Here's some of the highlights. Top of the first, 2 outs. Hernandez double to left center field. And then Carter will single Hernandez home. Here's the big catcher. Up the middle it goes. It's 1-0 New York. You can see how wet it became. Here's Claudell Washington, bottom of the first. He hits the ball down the right field side. It gets by Strawberry right there. But then Washington puts a deke on him around second base. Watch him right there. As he saw the ball being thrown to second, they didn't have a chance. He had a triple. And Ramirez on a ground out made the score 1-1 as Washington scored. After a rain delay, Oberklau with a double. This is in the bottom of the third. Horner and Harper score, making it 3-1 Atlanta. Now in the top of the fourth inning, Wally Backman, an RBI single, hit it to center, and Santana scored at 3-2 Atlanta. Still in the top of the fourth, Hernandez again, a triple. He hit for the cycle tonight. That is a home run, triple, double, single. Washington trying to slide along and make a circus catch. Couldn't make it. It got by. Dykstra and Backman both scored. It's 4-3 Mets. Still, top of the fourth, Carter another base hit. RBI single, 5-3 New York. In the bottom of the fifth, Rick Cerrone singles. Harper scores. It's 5-4 New York. And in the top of the sixth inning, Strawberry with a single. Backman scores, and that makes it 6-4 New York. And I'm telling you, from now on, you see some dramatics. Top of the eighth, Hernandez a home run, and that makes it, well, you'd think perhaps out of reach, 7-4, but it's not. Bottom of the eighth, with the bases loaded, Dale Murphy drives the ball to deep left center field, cleans the bases. It's 8-7 Atlanta. In the top of the ninth, however, Dykstra on a little infield hit. Horner trying to make a great play, couldn't come up with it. A run scores. It's 8-8. Top of the 13th, Howard Johnson a home run. Knight was on first. It's 10-8 New York. Bottom of the 13th. Ramirez singles and Harper hits the foul pole. It's 10-10 in the bottom of the 13th. Then we go to the top of the 18th. A sac fly by Dykstra. That'll put New York out in front by 1. And in the bottom of the 18th, would you believe this? With 2 outs and 2 strikes, Rick Camp ties the ball game. Here it goes. First Major League home run for Camp. But in the 19th, Knight gets a game-winning double and 4 more runs score. Here's a game-winning double. 4 more runs score. Makes a final score 16-13 as the Braves came up with a couple of runs in the bottom half of the 19th. And our final in 19 innings, 16-13 Mets.